Good morning, everybody. We are live and we're going to be here for quite a while. So if you guys are the types of people that like to jump into things for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, you might not want to hang out with me today because I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood to teach and lay down a lot of really good stuff as if I was brand new in the real estate or even business buying world. I've got a whole entire game plan written out for you guys, and I got questions that everybody asks right here, right out of the gate. Number one, here's what we're going to go through. I got to make sure you know we are actually live today. Here's how I know. Okay, guys, in the side chat, I like to turn the side chat on a lot. Can everybody tell me where you're at? Rule number one today, do not promote anything in the side chat. Don't put links in the side chat. Don't put your YouTube link in the side chat. Don't talk about things that hey, here's my company website. Don't put your link in the side chat. This is an open webinar, which means it's not a private webinar. I have not filtered who's in here. And so we have to make a rule to make sure that people that are coming in here today are not promoting something that's going to scam somebody on something. Can we all agree that we're not going to promote anything, put links in the side chat? But you're more than welcome to ask questions in the side chat or say, hey, I don't understand that. Those types of things I want to see. I have two people behind the stage right now, Carly and I have Sarab. They're here to support me, but more importantly, to support you in learning and walking away today going, oh my gosh, like I have the ability to make a lot of money, protect my family from the future. I have the ability to quit my job, my 9 to 5, or heck, even the business I'm in right now that I'm not happy with. That is our goal today, is that you walk away super happy. But they are also here to make sure that people in the side chat are not promoting something, okay? And so if you guys see somebody promoting something, please call them out. Carly and Sarabi will kick them out right out of the gate. Here's the first question we get. Will there be a replay? We don't plan on it. So if you want to learn what I have to teach today, which I'm going to go through in a couple of minutes, if you want to learn what I have to teach today, I would suggest canceling your birthday party today, canceling flag football, that tea time you have, I would cancel it. And I would say, I'm going to be here for 4 hours. Do your laundry while I'm doing this. Wash your car while I'm doing this. Do whatever you want to do while I'm doing this. But I suggest you take some notes. And I suggest you actually get hunkered in and pay attention, because this is the stuff that has changed my life and has accelerated my ability to take care of my family and take care of hundreds of employees that I have in my companies. All right, cool. So somebody said canceled baby making this morning. I love that, Nephi. That's awesome. Top 3 biggest questions I get is, why do I do these trainings? I do these trainings because I partner with people I teach. Thousands of people every single year get checks from me. People that own apartment buildings with me, businesses with me, RV parks, mobile home parks, single family homes, Section 8, nonprofit, sober living, battered women's shelter. I own a wide variety of assets. And the way that I do that is I teach people what I know and what took me 10 years to go out and learn the hard way. And of course, I had mentors along the way, and I paid for mentorships, and I still do pay for mentorships. But I'm going to take a lot of what I learned over those 13 years, and 10 years it took me to learn it. In the last 5.5 years, I've been teaching it. And what I've learned is when I teach, people bring deals to me. And this is the greatest way for me to bring opportunities to me and my company, instead of having a big full-blown acquisition team where they were in my office. I had 9 acquisition people back in 2017, 18, and 19. I said, there's got to be a better way. And I created that better way. I created a private community where I allow people to do deals with me. I bring capital, I bring structure, I bring all sorts of resources to those deals. And so the reasons I do these is because this type of Zoom I'm doing with you right now will cause you and I to do deals together. It just will. And I've been doing that for 5.5 years. I end up buying anywhere between $30 to $100 million a year in real estate through people I teach. Say that again. I buy $30 to $100 million a year in real estate from people I teach every single year. Do we understand why I do these trainings now? Do we understand why I do these trainings now? Okay. So another question is, in your mind, you might say, well, I don't know who this guy is. We've got 1,300 people in here. There's probably 500 people that don't know who I am. I will talk about who I am, a little bit of my history, so you understand why you should pay attention to me. That's not me saying, hey, look at me, look what all I've accomplished. But I think if you're going to go to a doctor, you want to make sure that doctor's done things and maybe if you're a woman and you're about to have a child, you probably want to go to a doctor that's birthed 1,000 children before, right? And so we want to make sure that we go through my pedigree, we go through the things that I've accomplished and all of those things so that you should stick around for the next 3.5 to 4.5 hours. I will be on here for a long time. I love teaching. It's kind of like when you find a new restaurant, you want to share it with the world. Like, oh my gosh, you got to try this restaurant, or oh my gosh, this band, you have to try listening to this band, or a YouTube video or whatever. I'm so excited about what I know and what I get to put into practice every single day. I still feel like what I know is a scam. I'm going to say that again. I still feel like what I know, it feels like a scam because it's too good to be true. It's like so good that I wake up every time I do a deal and I laugh every time I do a deal. I'm like, how is that even possible that I can do these deals? And now I have 30,000 people in my private community. We have done last year $25 billion in transactions. And so while the rest of the real estate world and business buying world is basically on pause, my community has gobbled up 7%. Write that down. My community has gobbled up 7% of all the RV parks in the country using the strategies that I'm going to talk to you guys about today. Adam says, can I buy an RV park as my first real estate purchase? Yes. And so if my community yes, $25 billion in transactions last year in a very, very, very slow market. It's because we use strategies that you're going to learn today, things that sound too good to be true, right? And I just want to remind you guys that 20 years ago, this iPhone sounded too good to be true. 5 years ago, AI that now runs half of my business sounds too good to be true. In fact, when I use AI every single day, it still feels like, wow, this is too good to be true. I used to have to hire employees to do some of the things that my AI does for me now for $40 a month, right? So we can agree that the world has accelerated so quickly that we live with things in our daily life that somebody 10 years ago would have been like, that sounds like witchcraft. Okay. So am I going to pitch you something is what a lot of people that are here on a Saturday morning wondering, is he going to pitch me something? No, I'm not. I don't have a coaching program. I don't have a mentorship. I do have a private community where I do deals with people and we really try and keep that really tight knit. What I will do today is for the people that are actually serious, and I'm going to do this later because I want to make sure that if you end up being invited to this amazing thing, you're actually a serious person. I'm 43. I've got 4 children, thinking about having a 5th child. I don't have a lot of time to mess around. And I also want to do business with people who also don't have time to mess around. They're dead serious about their business. And so when I do it, I'm going to make sure I go long and I weed out the not serious. I weed out the people that have an attention span issue. I weed out the people that were never going to do anything with the information I give them anyway, right? That is why I'm going to go long today. All right. I'm going to go long today. Are we okay with me going long today? I have 30,000 people that have learned from me, and over 18,000 of those people have quit their jobs and gone on to become really, really wealthy. I've learned when I first started that if all I did was get right into the airplane and take off, people go, wait, I don't understand. Wait. And then they also have underlying questions like, why is he giving me so much value? There's something sneaky coming up. And so if I don't lay these things out, you won't open your brain and actually absorb the information properly. So I've learned the things that you're already going to be questioning, I might as well handle those right in the front end so that when I do get to the crucial info, which is in about 10 minutes, your brain is going to be like, okay, I understand why he's teaching me. I do know he's live. I also know why I should be paying attention. And I also understand how long he's going so I can make a commitment to my own subconscious that I should stick around. Do you guys agree that if this is the way I teach, you probably want to stick around because I've taught a lot. And what happens is people 3 hours into some of my trainings are like, but why did you give me so much free information? I'm laying that out right now. And I've learned that if I don't tell you that, you're going to learn and absorb 20 or 30% less. Who am I? My name is Pace Morby. I've had a TV show on A&E owned by Disney Channel for 3+ years. I had a check coming to me from the Disney Channel. Why do I tell you that? Not to get into politics, because I know there's some Disney politics, but I've been vetted by the Disney organization. I've gone through their significant process before I had a TV show and before they put me on their platform. And I took 12 years to get to that point where they offered me a TV show. Last year, we turned that TV show down to double down on the things that actually are going to make an impact. And prior to that, I was just a real estate investor, helping people and travel around the country and do deals with people live. Before that, I was a general contractor. Before that, I was a son of a husband and father that had 12 children. I come from a family of 12 children. I learned how to work hard, do my chores, do right by my neighbor. I went and served a mission for my church from age 19 to 21. I lived in South Korea for 2 years, learned the language of Korean, and I baptized people. And I proselyted like a missionary. If that offends you, I'm probably not your person. Will I spend time talking about God? No, I'll never do that. But what I will do is I will talk about lessons of resilience and consistency that I did learn from my mission in South Korea. And those things will convey and help you out in your journey, okay? So am I the person that's going to sit here and talk about Jesus and God? No, I actually think that that's a red flag if people do that. I think that people are using God, and you ever hear the thing of don't use thy Lord's name in vain? It's not just saying, oh God, that also could be taking the Lord's name in vain. It's using the Lord as your shield to make him be your credibility than your own actions. And so I will never do that to you, but it is important to know where I came from. So I came home from my mission. I became a contractor, swung hammers for a long time, worked for Zillow, Open Door, OfferPad, massive companies. Zillow, I was one of their first contractors, and I turned thousands of houses for them. Turn means they bought the house, I renovated it, they went and sold the house, okay? So I did a lot of that. And then in my life, when I was 30, I'm now 43. When I was 30, I had a lady come into my life. I'll talk a little bit more about her, I hope, later after the very crucial, tactical, holy crap information that I'm going to give you today. This lady came into my life. I was her contractor, and she was a fix and flipper. This lady came into my life, and I paid her $135,000 to have her teach me for a year. It was really hard for me to stomach that money. I didn't have the money, and so she let me give it to her over payments, and my first payment to her was $25,000. I'm going to give you more information today than what she gave me in an entire year of working with her, and I'm going to give it to you guys for free. I love her. She's incredible. Her name is Bethany, and she was one of my first mentors that I spent money on, and it gave me the understanding of the cheat code. It gave me the cheat code of buying my time and not having to search through ChatGPT, which wasn't available back then. But regardless of ChatGPT being available, the abundance of information has always been there, right? Books, seminars, what cassette tapes, even for some of the older folks, even like me, I'm kind of in that cusp. And now even ChatGPT and also the AI that's out there, I think we can all agree that it's not going to do any deals for you. In fact, it's probably going to give you so much information that you're not sure what to do with that information. How many people are guilty of this? You've gone and asked all sorts of questions. How do I make money? How do I get out of my job? How do I do real estate? How do I do this? How do I do that? And it's never done anything for you. It's never lifted a finger for you. And so what Bethany brought to me when I was 30 is what I will invite you guys to in about 2 hours, okay? Bethany came into my life, and she actually went on my appointments. She helped me with the paperwork. She did the things instead of forcing me to watch a course or forcing me to watch a bunch of trainings and saying, go figure it out, pay me $10,000. What Bethany did for me is she created an environment that when I had a problem, she solved it. When I had a question, she answered it. When I had an appointment, she went to that appointment. When I needed capital or understanding of how to come up with no money, she was there to solve that problem for me. And I will tell you that that is a $1 billion value, whereas ChatGPT is a $0 value if all it's going to do is give you information. Do we all agree with that? Okay. Ram says, why are you giving this info for free, and why? Okay. Why are you spending 4 hours? Okay. Ram obviously showed up late. So this is one of my rules. Do you guys now understand why I bit Kyle's head off? To make sure that you guys understand why I do this. So let's talk to Ram. This will also help us prove that I'm live as well. Let's go to Ram. I don't know where you went, Ram. I think you're Ram Kulkarni. Ram, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Good. I'm going to ask you one question. I want one answer.
Yeah.
The answer I want to hear from you is guilty. Ram, did you show up late today?
Yes, I did by 4 minutes.
Okay.
And apologies for that. Yeah.
The first 4 minutes, I answered the question of why am I doing this and why am I late? And by the way, you weren't late 4 minutes. You were late at least 10 minutes because I went on about this to the point where there was a really annoying dude named Kyle that's like, get to the teaching. I'm going to say this one more time. Please, everybody, this is what happens when you show up late to my trainings. I don't dilly-dally. I get right into the crucial information. You guys understand why now I went over this in the beginning. Ram, thank you for the question. It gives me the ability to bring it up the second time. I love teaching. I have 30,000 people that have learned from me. I've helped retire over 13,000 of those people, and I do about $100 million in transactions every year. I'm going to say that a second time. I personally do $100 million in real estate transactions and buying businesses with people I teach. For a very long time in 2017, 18, and 19, I had a team of 9 acquisition people, right? Cold callers, dialing out, negotiating with sellers, and locking up deals in my real estate business. And those people are the hardest types of people to work with. Why? Because acquisition people want to be you. They don't want to be acquisition people. They want to run their own business. That's the nature of salespeople. They want to be a business owner. And so it's basically a big revolving door. And back in 2019, when I started teaching people, what ended up happening is I started doing more deals with the people I was teaching than I did in my own organization. And so I turned off my acquisition department and I started doing these free trainings. $100 million last year, the year before, et cetera. My portfolio is a little over $500 million in assets. All of those have been purchased without banks, without credit, and without a license of any kind. I'm going to say that again. All of those have been purchased without any of my own cash, any of my own credit. I don't know what my credit score is because I buy everything with Creative Finance, and I've done that all without a license. Where I have done a lot of business is I've taught my audience, and that audience then comes and does deals with me. Does that now make sense why I would be here for the skeptical type of engineer-minded people?
Yes.
You are an engineer, I would imagine.
Yeah.
How did I know?
That's right. Hey, because you have done deals of like $500 million, right? So I think you have met so many people.
Yes, and also I can tell your types of questions of like, why would you do this, right? There's always somebody with the why would you teach me? Do you now understand the logic and the technical reason why I would teach people like this for free?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is where like you do expect us to work with you, right? I think it's not that you teach and you go.
This is also very important for you to understand. Why would I do this for 4 hours? Here's why I'll do it for 4 hours. Because the average person that learns on my YouTube channel or anybody else's YouTube channel, everybody in the side chat, tell me you're guilty. YouTube results are 0.01% success rate. How many people are guilty? You've watched YouTube and you've done nothing with the content at all. You've been in ChatGPT for hours. It's done nothing for you other than frustrate you and get you to a point where you're like, I have to make a change in my life, and this isn't doing anything for me. So the reason why I go long for 4 hours instead of 45 minutes is because I don't want the losers that have attention span issues to be my partners. Because when something comes up, for example, I'm in the middle of an RV park refinance right now, and we're having to make a decision of, do we redeploy the $4 million we're making, or do we keep the property and we go buy another one with the $4 million? Do we redeploy into a new park, or do we just disperse the cash? My partner on that deal is so attentive, answering the questions, being involved in the meetings, because I choose my partners wisely. A 4-hour Zoom is the greatest filter on the planet Earth. Does that help you understand that?
Yep.
Is there any question of why I would be here and why I would go long and why am I doing this for free?
No.
Okay.
Got it. Yep.
I've even convinced my engineer friends. Right, Ram?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you.
We're going to go deep. I will go highly technical today. I will show you guys a lot of addresses and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. Jonathan Kruger, please, for the love of God, I'm telling you right now, if you guys put your contact information in the side chat, you promote anything, my team will kick you out. Today is an open Zoom. We have 1,700 people in here. Please, for the love of God, do not get kicked out of here, because I have 2 people that are looking in the side chat. And if you're promoting something, you're putting your links in here, I'm going to go long today. Please do not do that. Okay, cool. I've answered, are we live? Why do I do these trainings? Am I going to pitch you something today? No, I don't have a course. I don't have a mentorship. I do have a private community that is a paid community. And I do deals in my office live with me and the people I invite to my office. And so I will invite people that are like, I need a live environment. What you taught me is so incredible. I need to take the next step. I will have an invitation. Can I get a yes? Can I get a yes that you understand that I will be inviting people to my personal office and spend a week with me and my team? Okay, cool. Next question is, why is this so important to you right now? Here's why this is so important to you right now. A handful of reasons why. I'm going to pause the side chat in probably 10 minutes, but I do love hanging out with the side chat. I do want to show you guys a couple of things. What's happening in the world right now? Is anybody worried about their job with AI or robots? Is anybody actually worried about it? And you try and annoy it, or like you try and ignore it. Okay, somebody just said I got laid off. Okay, cool. Some people are like, no, I'm not worried about it. You must think that blue collar people are safe. Okay, you guys think blue collar people are safe, right? All these blue collar people are like, nope, I'm safe. I'm a blue collar person. I don't know who told you that. You're done. Like all you blue collar people, you guys in there. Check this out. I just saw that this morning, 6 hours ago. Robots have become so accurate they can carry out surgery on an egg without breaking it. This just popped up in my feed today. Okay. You think there's a surgeon on the planet that's this good? Medical's not safe. Okay. Not safe at all. How about this? People are like, I'm in blue collar. I'm safe. How about go to rufus.com. I think it's rufus.com. Oop, that's not it. Let's go to Rufus the robot. People that are in blue collar, you guys have you're not safe. Check this out. This was in 2024, my friends. Okay, this was 2 years ago. Let's see. There we go. Rufus is so advanced now. It's ridiculous. Replacing shingles, now it's replacing tiles. At first, they needed human beings to put it on the roof, and now it has a robot that puts the robot on the roof. Okay? No one's safe. Okay? No one is safe. And I'm telling you right now, the number one reason why you are here and why this is important is because real estate is the only way to be safe. Now, I've thought the same question a bunch of times. Well, if everybody's going to lose a job, then how are people going to afford to live in your real estate that you own? Which we will talk about. How do I buy real estate with no money, no credit? I'll show you where these deals come from. We'll talk about a lot of technical terms. You'll be taking a lot of notes today, okay? A lot of notes today. And again, you have permission to leave because I already covered this. We will not be, I don't believe we're sending out a replay at all for these Saturday trainings. And so if you need to leave, I love you. I wish you well. Go hang out with your kids. Do the thing. I already spent 4 hours with my kids this morning. Okay. And I would tell you right now, this is by far the most important thing for you to know for your children or your grandchildren, or heck, even you. Okay. Will AI take over TCs? No, AI will amplify TCs. It will take over lazy TCs. TC means transaction coordinator. Okay. All right. So let's go through this for a couple of minutes. I've thought about this. Here's a big bleeding question in my mind. If all these people are going to lose jobs, which they are, right? So many people are going to lose jobs. It's ridiculous. In fact, I just saw a big report today of all the big companies that are announcing massive layoffs. You look at these people and you go, okay, well, where are they going to live? I'm going to tell you right now, here's the asset types. This is the critical information that Kyle was really, really stressed out about. Okay. So here is the critical information. Where are these people going to live? A regular rental, okay, regular rentals will go away because people will not be able to afford them. Regular rentals will go away. Dong Hoon says, why RV parks over apartments? I will write that down. That's a great question. Why do I currently like RV parks over apartment buildings? You guys are just new to me recently, so you've only heard me talking about RV parks, but I have 1,500 multifamily doors. I have way more multifamily than I have RV parks, okay? Way more multifamily than RV parks. So please don't think only RV parks. I will talk a lot about RV parks today, okay? All right, so regular rentals are going to go away for the most part. Why? Because of affordability. Okay? And I don't want to talk about what is happening in the world. Just go on x.com, spend 2 hours on x.com looking at the articles there. Stop spending time on Instagram. Stop spending time on LinkedIn. Stop spending time on any of these places besides X. It's the only place that smart people hang out and actually have real good information. Okay. So everything else is just cooking your brain. Yeah, there you go. This is perfect. Melissa Hernandez says, I pay $2,000 a month to live in an apartment as a widow. So this is what's happening. Can people afford $2,000 a month? Yes or no? Barely. The answer is barely. Okay, so where are people going to live? Write these things down. These are very important for you. These are where people are going to live. Number one, affordable housing. Obviously, we're going to talk about that for a minute. What does that mean? RV parks. Why are RV parks so powerful right now and will double? Okay. Why RV parks over co-living? Brandy Fowler, great question. I got to pause the side chat for a minute if you guys don't mind. I got to stay focused on this topic. You guys are too inquisitive, which is great. Okay. All right. So RV parks are huge. Why? Because Starlink changed this business massively. Just in the last 4 years, Starlink has made it so people that work remotely can work on their laptop. And so workers are now traveling the country with their kids, and you have a lot more people traveling. How do I know? I own 15 RV parks. I know my tenants. I see what's happening. In the last 130 days, how do I know? In the last 130 days, I stayed in 110 RV parks. I'm going to say that again. Nobody else you'll ever meet in your entire life will be able to say that. In the last 130 days, me, my wife, and my children stayed in 110 RV parks. Why? Well, because I went and visited all of the members of my private community face to face. I literally just did that. I've got 4 more cities to go. We did 100 cities over 130 days. We have 4 more cities to go. On Monday, I will be in Monday, I will be in Fresno, California. I already did the East Coast. I did Alaska. I did Canada. I did every state and every city you can imagine. You guys missed it. I just got off this tour. I'm about to wrap up this tour next week. Fresno, Los Angeles, Yuma, Arizona, and Tucson, Arizona, the last 4 places on my tour. Okay? I know these tenants. I know what's happening in these RV parks better than anybody you will ask. Not only do I own more than most people, I have visited more than anybody I personally know. I know what's going on in there. So RV parks are huge. It's a huge way that people will be able to afford livability. You can live in an RV park full time for under $800 a month, and all of your utilities in an RV park, okay, all of your utilities in an RV park, besides your Starlink, are all paid for. So sewer, water, landscape, all of this stuff. So think about this. I have an RV park. I can live in my own RV, and I'm $800 per month with utilities, right? Like the lady who said I'm paying $2,000 a month in rent. Well, yeah, kind of, but you're also dealing with another $300 a month in utilities, right? And cleaning and all sorts of other things that you're dealing with. And if you own a rental, you are also dealing with the landscape, and you're dealing with other types of things around the house, a little bit of upkeep here and there. And so think about this. This is the cost to stay in an RV park is 1/3 the price of a regular rental. And so as AI goes and gobbles up jobs, what is going to happen is already happening. I'm seeing it, is that people will migrate to less expensive options. Now they can still take their kids around the country. They can show their kids the country. They can travel from their laptop and do their work, whether they're a salesperson or whatever it might be. And so this is massive. RV parks, even in the AI bubble, AI revolution, RV parks will double over the next 10 years in terms of growth, double. And so this is a very safe asset type to jump into. Have we decided RV parks are good? Yes or no? Have we decided RV parks are good? Yes or no? Okay, awesome. Have I made Kyle happy yet? Starting to warm up to some critical information. Is Kyle happy? Kyle, you're going to get cooked this whole entire time. I suggest you leave. I'm going to cook you the whole time. Tanisha says, who cares about Kyle? I'm going to make a joke of Kyle, and one day I'll see him, and we'll give each other hugs, because he's probably a super cool guy. Okay. Awesome. Now, Celeste says, what about lot rent RV parks? That's not an RV park. That's called a trailer park. Okay, that's called a trailer park. They are different. So affordable housing, I have these too. Most of my RV parks, we'll cover a couple of these today and how I bought them. That's what you really want to learn today. What should I own and how do I get to it with no money? Okay, I want to learn pace today. How do I find what is the right asset? Okay, that's the number one thing you're going to want to learn today. What's the right asset and how do I own it or make money on it without any money, without any credit, without any sort of license. Okay. If you walk away today knowing that that's possible for you, will you have spent 4 hours properly today with me? Yes or no? And by the way, if I can do this completely sick today, I am sick. I'm like hopped up on Advil and energy drink to stay up here and perform for you guys. If I can do that, you guys can stick around for a long time. Okay. All right. Awesome. So we already know we really like, okay, what's the time frame to double? 10 years. Over the next 10 years, this asset class will double. All right. Massive, massive one. Okay. So RV park, we like affordable housing. My favorite right now is RV parks for all of the reasons I just listed. But another reason I really love RV parks is because most of the sellers are retiring. Okay, the sellers are all retiring right now. They're a lot older generation, and they are willing to let me make payments to them. Okay, so that would be the creative finance we're going to get into later today. They will be my bank. They will literally go, hey, we don't want to manage the park anymore. We will let you take it over, and you can make us a monthly payment instead of going to a bank and getting a loan. So the sellers are becoming the bank. Massive, okay, massive plus. All right, awesome. So I also love RV parks because you can do what I call one and done. A lot of my students in our community will go buy one RV park making $15,000 a month in their pocket. That's net. That's not, for some of the technical people, NOI, net operating income. Don't learn this if you're new. It's a stupid acronym. This is in your pocket. $15,000 in your pocket right now. There's a lot of people that could just do one and done, be done. You don't have to build a portfolio of 50 rental properties. You could just buy one RV park and be done. How many people want to be one and done? Give me a yes if you want to be one and done. Okay, that's not me. Okay, that's not me. I'm not a one and doneer. I want to build a big team. I want to take care of the people that are on my team. I want to retire a lot of my employees. I'm a lunatic. I love doing this. This is the video game for me. Okay, so some people are like, I want to be 2 and done. I want to be 5 and done. Okay, well, I'm at 15 right now, RV parks, and by the end of the year, I'll probably be at 25. Okay, something like that. Why stop at 1? Good question, Brian. It's a good question. I will show you why people stop at 1 is because they're not you and they want to retire, right? They care more about peace over profit. Some people care more about profit than they care about peace, all right? So if different strokes, different folks. It's the same reason why if I go to Baskin Robbins, I'm ordering a Oreo Blizzard. I'm sorry, no, if I go to Dairy Queen, I would do Oreo, and you might do Butterfinger, right? Everybody has a different flow. So RV parks are huge for those reasons. Another reason why RV parks are amazing is because there's no maintenance. That sounds like hyperbole or me exaggerating, but this is the reality of an RV park. And I'll go through a couple of my RV parks today, but we're on the whiteboard right now. On every RV park, you actually have a manager that lives there. They live there. They raise their family there. They run every single aspect of that park, and they do the accounting. They do the billing. They do the marketing. They deal with the landscapers, and they literally live there, and their rent is free. Okay, so these people, okay, manage your park for you. So I own 15 parks. I'm not exaggerating. Those 15 parks take me 15 minutes per month, not each, total. There's a manager that lives on site. I can't do that with Section 8. I can't do that with nonprofit. I can't do that with sober living. I can't do that with assisted living. There's so many asset types I can't do that with. Now, in my multifamily, okay, which I'll show you guys why I love multifamily. I have 1,500 multifamily doors. But just in the last 6 months, I replaced $500,000 in roofs on a bunch of my multifamily properties in Texas. They all make a lot of money, so I could afford the bill. How many roofs do I have to fix in an RV park? How many walls do I have to fix? How many paint jobs do I have to do on an RV park? The answer is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And so my cash flow is my real cash flow. So I really love RV parks for all of these reasons, okay? So what's another form of affordable housing? Let's talk about this. Now, let's talk about the downside of an RV park, okay? There are some downsides to an RV park. They're very few, but there are a couple. Sometimes you'll buy an RV park that is seasonal, okay? Like I've got 3, 2 in Montana I'm about to close my third in Montana in the next couple of weeks. March 15th, I think I close on that one. And these parks make a lot of money. In fact, let me pull one of them up and I'll show you guys kind of the good and the bad. Sorry, guys, I will take time. I'll be a little bit lethargic here, but I want to make sure you guys have proof of things that I own. Let's see here. I want to pull up an actual profit and loss statement and show you guys the good months and the bad months of a seasonal park. And these parks make good money, but you have to understand cash flow management. So there are some downsides to an RV park. Let's go Molly RV. You're going to say, keep talking, entertain me, guys. Just hang out with me. I want to make sure that when I give you the information, I give you information that is good information and I show you my actual, oh, okay, here we go. Park breakdown. No, that's not it either. My team handles all this stuff, so I don't have to deal with it, but every once in a while, RVs, reno, update, spreadsheets. I got to pull this up before time is due, before you guys have to deal with this kind of stuff. Okay, man, I want to bring this up, but the sad thing is I don't get involved in the management of any of this kind of stuff, and so my team handles all of it. And so I have to go back through and like find an email they sent me or something along those lines. Let's see. Link. Let's see if I can find it. Give me 10 more seconds. This is good enough. This is so good. I think it's helpful for a lot of people to see how this stuff is actually handled. And also to see the real profit and loss statements that people, you need to see it. You need to see that, one, it's real. Two, that they actually make the money that I say they do. And I might be able to pull it up on like my history. Hold on a second. I'm on a different computer than I normally am. Let's see. Okay. Carly, will you do me a favor? Will you text Molly and tell her to send me the profit and loss statement or like a recent link for the 2 Montana parks? But the downfall to these Montana parks that I own is that 5 months out of the year, they basically lose money, like 10 grand a month sometimes, like really, really badly. But in other parts of the year, they literally in my pocket put 90 grand in my pocket. And so over the course of a year, these parks are netting me. Okay, 2 RV parks. I've got one park in Montana that nets me $13,000 a month after all seasonality. And 2, I've got another one that makes me $22,000 a month after all seasonality. So this is true cash flow. This is in my pocket. I can pay my bills. I can buy groceries for my family, all of those types of things. The downfall to this is that it's seasonal. And so what happens is you will have to have cash flow management. Okay. Meanwhile, one of the reasons why I really love multifamily is because let me show you one of my multifamily deals. This actually just came across a couple of weeks ago from my team. Multifamily is a lot more stable, not as sexy in terms of like the management structure, but here's a profit and loss statement. This is an actual P&L from a property I own. You guys can pull it up. It's called La Primera at Green Valley. When I first bought this park, look at the orange section. The orange section is where my actual cash flow is. Okay. So my first month owning this was $29,000 in net cash flow. That's in my pocket. That's after the seller's been paid because I bought on seller finance. Yes, we will talk about seller finance and sub 2 today, but we're mostly talking about asset types right now. So you can see the seller right here is getting paid from me $54,000 a month. but the property's bringing in $151,000 a month. $151,000 a month. Cool. So look at this. First month we owned it, netted me $29,000. Then the next month, 31. The next month, 51. Okay. Now let's fast forward to last year and let's talk about the last quarter. Look how much we're netting now. Just within a couple of years, we have nearly tripled our cash flow. And look how consistent this cash flow is. This property nets me $1 million a year. Okay, $1 million a year. I bought this with no bank. I bought this with no cash of my own, and I bought it without a single credit check whatsoever. Okay, so I like multifamily, but what's the downfall to multifamily? Now, everybody that lives in that multifamily is either they're retired, so they're getting government pension. 2, they're on Section 8. 3, they're on HUD-VASH. HUD-VASH is Section 8 for veterans. Or 4, they have a nonprofit status, so battered women's shelter or whatever is renting those units from me. So I have 98% of my units are rented out all the time from people that are protected classes that I will never worry about that asset going away. In 15 years, 10 years, that is an affordable asset. It puts $75,000 a month in our pocket every single month. That's free cash flow. Okay. That is what I love about multifamily. But multifamily has a lot of renovations. And so if you want to stay away from renovations and upkeep and all of those types of things, then I suggest multifamily might not be your first pathway. Is this somewhat helpful for you guys to make a decision of RV parks? Should I go into multifamily, what have you? Is this somewhat helpful? Okay, cool. Now let's keep going into the affordable housing arena. Okay. I'm going to keep going down in the affordable housing because I want to make sure you guys understand why this is information I'm going to teach you guys today is so critically important. So if everybody's going to lose their job, then affordable housing is the way to go. Okay. Either A, affordable, or B, government funded. Okay. Is the government going to fund somebody's $5,000 mortgage payment? No. Okay, if some white collar person loses their job and their $5,000 monthly payment, they're going to have to go and downgrade, tell their wife we're buying an RV and we're going to travel the country and go see the world. And we're going to live for $800 a month, right? This is what's going to happen in massive, massive amounts of people. And so I'm planning on a lot of people losing jobs. I'm just planning on owning assets that actually benefit from that tidal wave, right? I can't decide how big the waves are or when the waves hit. But what I can do is buy the appropriate surfboard. And what I'm doing with doing this is that if I'm getting into RV parks, I win. Okay. Trailer parks also another one. Trailer parks people are long-term. Okay. These are long-term. RV parks are short-term. Okay. These are people who are recreation. They're a week or less. Trailer parks are more long-term. They park their trailer. They're there. They add skirting to protect from the elements and they hunker down and they stay there for a long time. I have, I think, 6 of these. Okay. They print money. It's ridiculous. They own the trailer. I do not. So I don't have any maintenance issues. Okay. So RV parks, trailer parks. Another one that we're going to start doing is we're going to go after RV resorts. Okay. I do not suggest when you are new that you go after RV resorts. The reason being, I have really seasoned students in year 2 start buying these. This has restaurants, right? This has hospitality. There's more things to manage here. And you also have to market and find people that are going on vacation. RV parks, I could delete all my websites and they would still make money. People just stay there, right? You buy them in appropriate locations, people just stay there. Okay, cool. So affordable housing is a big one. Let's get away from RV parks for a little bit and let's talk about another couple of types of asset types. Okay, and I'm going to tell you guys right now what to stay away from. Not right now, but in a couple of minutes, I'll tell you stuff to stay away from. So RV parks, trailer parks, RV resorts, these are good. We, of course, like multifamily properties as long as the tenants are as long as the properties are affordable. Okay, I'm not going after A-class properties where the rents are $2,500. That's not my game. Okay, I'm worried about the economy. I'm worried about what is going to happen. And so I'm going to create places where I can make a ton of money in the event that things get worse, and they will. Affordability has never gotten better. I'm going to tell you guys right now, affordability has never, ever in history ever gotten better. No president has ever been able to make it possible. It's always climbing. Houses always climb, rent always climb. There might be some years where things settle in for a year, maybe like 18 months, they slow down a little bit, but it will continue to go higher and higher and higher. Okay. So I like these asset classes. Let's talk about single family for a minute. Okay. Single family, I will never, okay, I'm going to write this in red. I'm going to write this in pink. Okay. I will never do another Airbnb as long as I live. Stay away from Airbnb. This is a vacation rental. This is non-scalable. Can we do Airbnb with creative finance and the strategies I'm going to teach you guys today? Yes, you can. And I have a lot of students that do them, but this is not a scalable business. You cannot scale this business. You will hate it. You will be 2 houses in and go, this is the worst thing I ever did. You have all the Kyles and the Karens that leave reviews on your websites because they are unhappy about your Airbnb. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't want my people to be able to have like parties at these properties. This is why I love RV parks, trailer parks, etc. Okay. So Airbnbs, stay away from them. Do they work? Have I owned them? Yes. I have owned 75 Airbnbs in my life. I currently have 1. I'm getting rid of all of my Airbnbs. I'm going to say this again. Does it work? Sure. It sure does. But are people going to be vacationing in Airbnbs more or less in 5 years? Which one, guys? More or less in 5 years? Okay, so is that the type of asset we want to go after? Now, of course, I'm going to teach you guys how do we find these deals and how do we buy them with creative finance. That's going to be the bulk of what we talk about today. But I want to make sure you guys understand as I go through the strategies today, everything I talk about will apply to every other type of asset type, okay? Except for Airbnb. Stay away from it. If you're brand new, stay away from it. It's a trap. Don't get into it. Horrible, 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 horrible. A lot of friends of mine do it. They're all getting out of it and they're saying, hey man, those RV parks are looking really sexy right now. Okay. Okay. So Adam Cecilia is asking the question that we're currently answering. Adam, he says, with AI taking so many jobs, how will people be even able to afford housing? Adam, I'm currently answering that question right now. I have answered that a couple of times. Okay. If somebody's average rent right now is $2,000, okay, either A, they're going to have a lower paying job in the future and they're going to have to look for lower rent solutions, okay? Those lower rent solutions are literally what I'm going through right now. Or B, there's going to be some sort of UBI, universal basic income. And what's going to happen is the government is going to give people, this is not going to happen for 3 to 5 years, probably. It's just going to get so bad that the government's going to have no choice. I think we're on in 18 months, we're going to have one of the best runs of real estate ever coming up in the next 6 months. Why? The interest rates are slowly coming down. And what's going to happen is in May, we have a new Fed chairman that's coming in, which has been appointed or chosen by Trump. Of course, he has to be sworn in and all of that kind of stuff. That guy is going to push interest rates so low that the real estate market is going to blow up. However, during that time, also people will be getting laid off in mass droves. The amount of AI like advancement in the last 30 days is so scary. And if you're on here, one of the 2,000 people on here right now, you just haven't done any research. You have been under a rock to not know what's going on. And this is not an AI Zoom, so I'm not going to go through all the things I know. I'm going to go through what can save you. And what's going to save you, my friend, okay, is you have to find places where people can pay less money or find places where universal basic income will cover that. Government is not going to go, hey, you're a white collar person with a $5,000 mortgage. Let me cover that with your UBI. They're not going to give one person more UBI than the other person. It's going to be a standard amount of money. And so what's going to happen is a lot of these McMansions and a lot of these big houses and these regular rentals are currently going away so fast. And I'm going to talk about that next. It's called co-living. Okay, that's what I'm talking about next. Have I answered the question of how people are going to afford this? Yes or no? Co-living is the next answer, by the way. Stop asking that question. I just answered it. People have to find less expensive options. Yes, sell your Airbnbs. Get rid of your Airbnbs. Buy. Gone. Okay. So another thing, how about RV parks versus storage facilities? I like Darius. I own multiple storage facilities. They're trying to deviate me. That's a deviation question. Okay. All right. So Co-living is massive right now, like massive, massive, massive. I have a little over 5,000 students in my community that all have retired or quit working a second job because they own a few co-living properties. Okay. What is co-living? You're not going to like it because you're going to be upset because you live in an HOA and you and you're so fancy. Guys, it's taking the world by storm right now. It is massive. Companies like PadSplit are helping my students go and fill single family homes. Okay. You take a single family home that's like a 3-bed, 2-bath house, and you convert this into an 8-bed, 4-bath house. A lot of my students are going out and just building 10-bed, 10-bath houses in droves, and they're filling them up. Why? Because people can't afford where they live. The average amount of money that people pay to stay in a co-living property is under $800 a month. They get to rent by the room. That's what's happening, is they are rent by the room. Okay, think about college dorms or student rentals for adults. That's what's happening right now. I'm not saying this is happening hundreds of times a month. It's happening thousands of times a month, and you just haven't been privy to it, which I'll show you guys here in a couple of minutes. So rent by the room is taking over the country. In fact, yesterday I have students in North Dakota and Ohio that just partnered with each other. They met each other in our private community. They went out into Atlanta, Georgia, and they have built what I would say is probably one of the coolest businesses. They're taking duplexes, okay, just regular duplexes, and turning them into 13-bedroom houses. Okay, 13 bedrooms in one house. 13 bedrooms in one house. And what they're doing, and I'll talk a little bit more why this is so important, is because let's say I take over a house. We'll talk about this a lot today. And this is why this training needs to go long. Okay, is everybody, how many people are going to hang with me for the next couple of hours? How many people are going to like in this to win this today? Awesome. Cool. It's going to go long, and you're going to walk away completely inspired. You're going to walk away a completely different person. How many people have already learned a bunch in the first 57 minutes? Awesome. Cool. And we're just barely getting started. I'm warming up to show you guys the magic. Okay. I'm just warming up, kind of filling in what I know the gaps are going to be when I get to the magic. Okay. Because the number one question you're going to ask is, what about this asset? What about this asset? Guys, my sub 2 community, every single type of asset type. One of my students just raised $100 million for data centers using Creative Finance. Data centers. So can I do data centers? Can I do mobile homes? Can I do mobile home parks? Can I do trailer parks? Can I do RV resorts? Can I do RV parks? Can I do multifamily, small multifamily, A class, B class, C class? Can I do self-storage? Can I do a marina? Yes. Creative Finance allows you to do everything and anything. Yes. Truck stops, everything. Okay. So you're going to ask that question. What about Section 8? What about this? What about that? We're going to cover all of these things. How are they turning a duplex into 13 beds with hammers and nails and screws? Okay. Tiny home parks. Yes, we're doing a ton of tiny homes. I think we're adding 100 tiny homes to our existing RV parks, and I'll talk about that as well today on some of my deals I'm going to break down. What I'm trying to get you to understand is why this is so important for you. I'm not actually teaching you guys the strategies or the tactics yet. That's going to come up next. What I'm trying to get you to understand is why this is so important to you is because the world is changing so dramatically, so quickly, that I am actually afraid. I am actually afraid. I'm not just saying that to market you or anything. I'm actually afraid. My children, I have an 18-year-old child. He's awesome. He's not a child. He's a man now. He's a pilot. He just got his pilot's license. My son has 3 Airbnbs. He bought them with Creative Finance. He's never had to worry about money in his life. All his friends are out there flipping burgers. My kid makes like $1,800 a month in his pocket from 3 rentals and like never has to worry about money. He got bored with real estate. He wants a challenge. And so he's flying, and we bought him a plane on Creative Finance. Can I buy planes on Creative Finance? Yes. We'll cover that today too. Okay. But my younger children, I've got a 7-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old daughter, and a 2-year-old son. And my wife and I are thinking about having a 5th. Will my children ever have to drive a vehicle? Yes or no? Will my children ever have to drive a vehicle? Yes or no? If you say yes, you have not paid attention to a single thing that's going on in the world. Robo-taxi just came off the manufacturing line. The first vehicle that is autonomous that does not even have a steering wheel is now in production. You're not paying attention. You are not paying attention. You are so sucked into Netflix or the Epstein files or all the things that completely take your attention. You are not paying attention to what's really going on right now. You don't have a clue. You have robo-taxi that by the end of December, the regular consumer, pay attention to this, can buy a $30,000 Tesla car that will drive you anywhere and with no supervision, no steering wheel, no brake pedal, no gas pedal. It literally drives itself, is already in production. And while you're at work, if you still have a job, that robo-taxi will go out and give people Uber drives all day long and make more money for you than the car costs you. That's happening right now. Right now, that's happening. And your belief of, yes, your kids are still going to need to drive. No, they won't. Now, can they? Of course, there's going to be old school vehicles. But the reality is, my friends, this is happening now. My 7-year-old daughter will be driving in 9 years. Why? Here's another question to ask. This is important. This is why this is important for you guys to get ahead of this. My daughter, Corbin, does she have to wait? Pay attention. Does my daughter, Corbin, have to wait until she's 16 to now get a ride or control a vehicle? The answer is no. I can literally put her in a car and go, oh, you want to go to your friend's house? No problem. The family vehicle will take you. Program it in, take my daughter here. It will take her exactly where it's supposed to go. I can put restrictions on it so it won't go anywhere except for where I tell it to go. You do not, my kids will never need a driver's license. They will just have a government ID. Okay, that's crazy. It's crazy to even think about. We are living in the Jetsons time, and we're even further advanced than what we thought we were going to be. Okay, so why is this important? Because Uber drivers are toast, gone. 3.5 million people drive Uber or Lyft. They're going to lose their jobs within 3 to 5 years. All of them, all of them, all of them, all of them. Robo-taxi is already giving people rides in Austin, Texas. This is not, hey, this might happen. This is happening right now. Go to Austin, Texas, fly there right now. Here's what you're going to here's what's going to happen when you go to Austin. You're going to get off your plane. You're going to walk through the airport. You're going to go into a store, never have a human being in the store. All the human beings are now replaced in Austin, Texas, inside of their airport. You walk outside, order a robo-taxi. It will come and pick you up. You never have to talk to somebody, communicate with somebody. That car will take you exactly where it's supposed to go, unsupervised 100%. Christy says, yeah, Saravi says we have Waymos here in Phoenix. Those are gone too. Waymo is going to go out of business. Okay. Why? Because robo-taxi is Waymo better. Ha, got him. All right, so it is happening right now. It's important for you guys to understand this, because if you are going to escape your job, going to protect your family, you're going to take care of yourself, you're going to avoid college, whatever it is that you want to do, you need protection against those things that are coming. Do I want to be on universal basic income? Do I want my kids to be on universal basic income? That's like, hey, government's keeping you alive. How many people in here want to be on universal basic income? If you don't, then what I'm teaching you today is paramount, critical. This is why I'm going long today. Okay. So affordable housing, okay? UBI, or universal basic income, the government right now, here's what they're doing. They're getting rid of all the fraud. Did you guys just see 2 weeks ago? Now every dollar, this is the greatest thing that I think any president has ever done. Every dollar that's now being spent in the government, they just launched this 2 weeks ago, has to be approved by AI, and they have to show proof of where the money's going now. Guys, our overage of government spending and the amount of money we pay in taxes is going to go down so dramatically. Our cost of living is actually going to come down, and our government is going to have so much money coming in from both taxes or tariffs, hate them or love them. We will have universal basic income, and that is where that money is going to come from. And universal basic income is going to be allotted to every family. It's probably going to be $2,000 a month. And so what's going to happen is these families are going to go to RV parks, mobile home parks, affordable multifamily. They're going to go to mobile homes. They're going to go buy little farms in the outskirts of town. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. Oh, Dashers are toast. Are you kidding me? DoorDash? Guys, DoorDash is gone. Like, have you guys not been paying attention to the little robots that are now delivering food? How many people have seen those on the road? Give me a yes if you've seen those on the road. Okay, if you are door dashing, you have 12 to 18 months to get into something completely different. Okay. They're already in Phoenix, Arizona. They have these little red robots that drive into, they're small. They're like the size of a little like basket. They drive into the neighborhood. A year ago in Phoenix, Arizona, a human had to ride behind them on a bicycle. Now those robots are all by themselves driving through the like bike lane and going delivering food and putting it right there on your doorstep. It's happening right now. Uber, okay, truck drivers. Do we all agree that truck drivers are going to be gone in the next 24 to 30? Not all of them, but there's 7 million people that drive truck or are in logistics. I would say probably 5 million of those people will have no work in the next 36 months. Do we all at least agree with that? Okay. It's scary. It is overwhelmingly scary. So do we all understand why I'm talking about affordable housing and how do I acquire enough of it so I don't have to worry about stupid UBI the rest of my life? What I want to do is I want to own things that UBI, Section 8, HUD-VASH, or other things are guaranteed. And these are affordable housing that continue to print money for me, my family, and my employees. Okay. Awesome. So this is why this stuff is important. 1205 confirmation. Yes, thank you so much. What happened to this park being about RV parks? Will, let me pull you up here real fast. Let's talk about this. This is so funny that this is where you guys are going to have a really hard time in your life is if you don't understand. Will, come on up here. If you don't understand why an RV park is so powerful, why would you just buy it? Is it just to buy it so you can like quit your job? Like, why not just buy any other asset? Will, come unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes. How do you not understand that this is about RV parks?
No, I get it. I understand that this is.
And why ask the question?
I understand that it's about economics, is what you're trying to talk about.
Okay, so right. So here's what happens. You see people teaching you guys on YouTube, go get an Airbnb. People are still teaching that trash. What I'm trying to get you to understand is why these asset types are so important, because here's what's going to happen. 90% of you guys are going to leave this training today, never see me ever again. What I'm trying to do is plant a seed in your mind that whatever you learn next, whatever you ask questions about next, needs to be about affordability. So whatever asset you jump into, even businesses, should I go, you see all these people teaching about business, right? You see them on YouTube, right? Go buy a business?
Sure, yeah.
Should we go buy a CPA or bookkeeping business?
I mean, depends if you're interested in that or not.
No, it doesn't. Are you not aware of what Claude is doing and OpenClaw? Are you researched on this stuff?
Yeah, but if you're in the accounting game, then you can use those softwares to run your business.
No, I can use it to run my business without a CPA. That's the point. What do I need to hire a CPA for?
That's not the business that you're in, though. If you're an accountant and you need those softwares, then you can use those for your business. But you're in the real estate game.
No,
you can use
there's plugins now that will replace entire CPAs. Okay, CPAs take 3 days to get back to you. You spend $15,000 a year on them. There's no way I'm going to go hire a CPA that's using OpenClaw or Claude. I would rather just have the plugin, which is now a tab on my computer. Please run all of this stuff in my computer. CPAs are cooked. Bookkeepers are cooked. Controllers are cooked. Maybe a high-level CFO or like a controller could control stuff for big companies. But as a small company, why would I ever need to hire a bookkeeper ever again? So when people go buy a bookkeeping business, why? Yeah. Why would I want to buy a bookkeeping company if those bookkeepers are not going to be needed in the future? The average bookkeeping service, 85% of bookkeepers. How do I know? I used to own a bookkeeping company until 6 months ago. I just sold it. Why? Because I see what's happening.
I own you already have the software, right?
Yes. All my customers.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
My customers started using AI and replacing my $99 a month service.
Sure. Yeah.
So why would I go buy a bookkeeping service or a CPA business? This has everything to do with what you should focus on. So when people go, well, no, I should go buy a CPA business because that's what I'm really excited about. No, you don't skate to where the hockey puck is. You skate to where the hockey puck is going. And in 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, even, did you see what the Anthropic CEO said yesterday? He says lawyers have 12 months.
Yep.
Doctors have 6.
Yeah.
You should not be buying any old asset. So the main focal point of right now is why are RV parks so important, and to prove to you and give you conviction. So when you go down the path, here's what's going to happen. And this is what happens with every newbie. They'll leave the second you run into any obstacle, a challenging seller, a challenging broker, something that you don't understand how to underwrite. You will go, oh, resistance. I'm going to go find another grassy knoll to go camp on, which is another shiny object. Maybe Airbnbs will be easier. No. My main point right now is to give you so much conviction in these types of assets and these types of avenues that when you leave and you don't ever learn from me again, you see a shiny object, you go, no, I'm staying away from the Airbnb. I'm staying away from regular rentals. I'm staying away from bookkeeping and all of these things that are going to be dismantled in the next 24, 36, or 48 months. That is the main focal point of the last 22 minutes. That's all I've been on this is 22 minutes.
Sure.
Okay? So, Will.
I would say I don't disagree with the stuff that you're talking about. I just
Brother,
it's
then,
like, hey, like
then let me cook. That's it. Let me freaking cook. Okay? It's to give people conviction. Do you guys understand why we are spending time on this topic? Is it to scare you? No. Actually, yes, it's to scare you a little bit, not on purpose, but to let you know that there are significant pathways you should be focusing on. Do not focus on regular rentals. Do not focus on regular tenants. Do not focus on anything that's not affordable. Period. End of story, especially when you're brand new. Okay. Now, there are high-end developers that will go and do like high-end development. Okay. That's not for you. It's not for me even. Okay. That's not my lane. 99% of people should never do that. But let's talk about co-living for a little bit. Okay. Co-living is another asset type that you should be focusing on because it's affordable. It's affordable. Now, underneath co-living, there's a couple of things. Okay. Co-living is number one, you want to go after just the regular pad split model, right? Regular tenants in a co-living environment. I'm going to say that again because somebody just said, wait, I thought you said no regular tenants. No, you can have regular tenants, but they need to be in a co-living environment. Okay. Number two, HUD-VASH. Okay. So HUD-VASH is the Veterans Section 8. Okay. Veterans Section 8, and you can put them into a co-living model as well. What's cool about HUD-VASH, okay, pad split allows for one person per room. So let's go to padsplit.com and we'll look at some of their houses they currently have. I think we have 20 pad splits in our portfolio and I love them. They print money. We really don't have to deal with any issues whatsoever. The biggest issues we have are the Airbnbs. My entire team hates our Airbnbs, which is why we've gotten rid of 99% of them. But then you also have the regular rentals. Our regular rentals are by far the biggest nightmare. Stay away from regular rentals. Don't ever do a regular rental. It's not a good thing for you. Here's PadSplit. Check it out. I'm going to go find a room. Let's go to Arizona. Let's go to Phoenix. I can go in here and now rent a room. Are these crappy houses, guys? Look at this. Give me a yes or no. Are these crappy houses I can go rent a room from? Are these like dingy, oh my gosh? No. Look at this. This is a co-living property for $288 a week. So this person's this is about $1,000 a month. This is $1,000 a month. I could rent one room in this house for $1,000 a month. How many people, if you lose your job and you get UBI, this is where you're going? You understand why pad split or co-living is such a powerful model. This is where people are going to be living in the future. Okay. All right. Yeah, Jeffrey says this is stunning. This is why these asset types are so critical, and you need to understand this. Okay, this is $274 a week. Okay, we can go to other places, go to find a room. Let's go to Alaska. Heck, guys, they're in freaking Anchorage, Alaska. Check that out. That's freaking awesome. So they're starting to take over all over the entire country. Let's go to California. Let's go to Bakersfield. They're brand new into Bakersfield, so they got a couple of properties. This is taking over. Okay. They are zooming 80%, write this down, 80% of all the properties on padsplit.com are from my students. My students are taking over this asset type and making affordable housing affordable and attractive again. Over 80%. So why is that important for you to understand? Because I'm trying to get people aligned with making significant amount of money and solving the biggest problem that is coming up in the future. Now, of course, you're going to ask, where do I get these houses? We will cover those. But I want the people that are sitting here going, well, I was going to get an Airbnb. Anybody that was going to get an Airbnb have been convinced in the last 20 minutes you're not ever going to do an Airbnb? Can I get at least one person to say, yeah, that's me? Okay. You guys are the reason why. Look at all the me's and the yeses. You 100 people or so are the reason why I hammered on this really, really hard. Okay. It's usually a woman. Usually it's women that are like excited about the creative prospect of owning an Airbnb. They're cooked. Airbnb took 400,000 houses off their platform last year, 400,000 houses off their platform because they were not performing. 400,000 investors now cannot even use Airbnb. Does that sound like something you want to be involved in? No, of course not. Now, let's keep going on these types of asset types. And then we're going to talk about some deals. Okay. So here's another asset type I really like underneath the co-living umbrella. Okay. I also really like the nonprofit world. Okay. What is a nonprofit world? Nonprofit would be something like sober living. Okay. People that are coming out of rehab need a place to stay. And so there's companies like Oxford House. Okay. I'll pull up their website in a second. Oxford House will literally, if I go get a house, I'll show you guys 2 houses I have that are with Oxford House. Oxford House will take my property. This is what's so cool. Please pay attention. How many people just heard Oxford House for the first time? Give me a yes. I want to make sure you got $100,000 in value today. I want you walking around, oh, that's 1,000, that's 5,000, that's 10,000. First time you've heard of Oxford House, but they're taking over the entire country. It's like 90% of the houses that are being done with Oxford Houses are also our students. Okay. There you go. Somebody says several in our area. Cool. Oxford House is dominating. Here's why they're dominating is because I can go and pass my house off to Oxford House. So I can go get a house, no money, no credit. I can have Oxford House come and manage it, run it, and just send me a check for way more money I could ever rent it for. Zero, literally zero management whatsoever. Zero management whatsoever. Okay. And Oxford manages it. You're like, well, who manages Oxford? Nobody. They fix their own repairs. They do all of their own tenant management. They pay you 1 check every single month. And what they're doing is they're putting 2 people in each bedroom in every single house. They're stacking 8, 7, 9 people into every single bedroom. They are killing it. Now, Oxford House is a nonprofit, so they're getting government funding. Here, let me show you Rico and Kenny in Seattle. I was just in Seattle a couple of days ago at this prop just a couple of days ago. This is a battered women's shelter. Oxford House rents this from Kenny and Rico, which are 2 of my students. And that's all Kenny and Rico are focusing on is just getting more of these houses and passing it on to non-profit tenants. Okay. Non-profit tenants. Why is that important? Is because the money comes from the government. Okay. A lot of my students have been dominating in Section 8, but we're actually kind of slowly migrating not all of our properties away from Section 8, but we're doing a lot less Section 8. Why? Write this down. Because Section 8 allows for 1 tenant in each living unit. Co-living with nonprofit, I can stack 8 tenants in a property as long as they're comfortable and they have a minimum square footage. That's another training for another day. Right now, I'm just talking about the asset types you can do and where you should be focusing your time and your energy. Protected class, government's funding the money, no management whatsoever. In Section 8, okay? By the way, again, we have tens of thousands of Section 8 properties in our community, tens of thousands. But let's talk about Section 8 for a little bit. People love to talk about Section 8 right now. Section 8 is awesome. I love it. I give Section 8 an 8 out of 10. Okay? Both of these get government funding. Okay? So the government is funding both of these. The other one is called COC. Write this down. It's called continuation of care. Continuation of care would be that somebody just comes out of a sober living facility. They need continuation of care. And so the government is writing a check. I'm going to give these an 11 out of 10. Why? Well, when I'm doing Section 8, I have to collect part of my money from the government and part of my money from the tenant. The tenant pays like 10 to 15% of the rent. Then the government pays 80 to 90% of the rent, somewhere in that realm, depending on the tenant. When the tenant moves out and they trash my property, who cleans up that property in Section 8? Me. So I have to take my money that I've made over the last 2 years of this Section 8 person living in my property, and I have to take a lot of my cash flow and go back in to renovate the property. In continuation of care, I get 1 check, and it's usually 15% more than Section 8 will ever give me. There's no limit on what they can pay me. Section 8 has limits. Okay, there's a limit. You have to get approved. Ooh, this is another one. The property has to be approved. No approval on continuation of care. No approval. They don't have to have a voucher. Oh my gosh, am I not convinced? How am I not convincing you to go do this right now? This is freaking insane. No voucher. Nobody cares if you have a voucher. No approval on the house. There's no governing body that says you can't do Section 8 here. Okay? COC all day long, continuation of care. You're going to say, I've never heard of this. Cool, no problem. This is why you came to a Saturday training with me. By the way, is Kyle a total knucklehead? Have we gotten to the critical information yet? Have we just barely warmed up to some critical information today? I hope Kyle stuck around. Okay? Awesome. So we are, okay? By the way, Kyle didn't know, but he was going to be one of my people that helped remind you guys of the value you're going to receive today. So there's no approval, no voucher. So there's no limitation of scale. You get 15% more. You get one check. Now here's the best part. When these tenants move out, the COC, which would be Oxford House or 10 other different names I'm not going to go through today, the tenants damage the property. Who pays for the repairs? The COC bill pays for the repair. So your cash flow is actually your cash flow. Do we understand why COC is 11 out of 10 versus Section 8 is an 8 out of 10? Am I saying don't do Section 8? No, I love Section 8. I just say continuation of care, nonprofits are 30% better. Okay, so let's go and find Oxford House so you guys can see their website. Oxford House. By the way, if I just Google Oxford House, you're going to see other companies that are very similar. So check this out. You're going to see Oxford House. They're sponsored. Okay, big. Okay, about us. You guys can go to oxfordhouse.org. Here's another one. You guys want to go find more COC. COC stands for continuation of care. Okay, continuation of care. Here is where you can find a lot of other Oxford houses. You guys ready for another one? Okay, go to padmission.com and Padmission will find 10 or 50 other companies besides Oxford House. Write that down, padmission.com. How many people have never heard of padmission.com? What they are doing is they are going out and they are finding all of the Oxford House type businesses. So Oxford House is just one of the COCs. There are literally thousands of them. I have Oxford House on 2 of my houses. I'll show those to you in a minute. And then I have a bunch of other COCs, continuation of care, that rent out portion of my multifamily. And I even have COCs that rent out portions of my RV parks. So can continuation of care even give people in spots in my RV parks, my tiny homes, my multifamily? Is there any limitation of where these COC tenants can live? And also, is there any limitation of how much I can scale? Okay. Pretty freaking cool. All right. Now, let's go back through. Guys, stop asking about zoning. That's another conversation for another day. Okay? Stop being the overthinkers. Okay? All right. Oh, man, Pace, you're being so mean. No, I'm not. I'm trying to stay on topic. You want me to really go through zoning? Let me ask you a question. Is zoning going to go help you get a deal, yes or no? Is knowing everything about zoning going to help you get a deal? Most important thing we can cover today is what asset types you need to chase for what's going to happen in the next 36 months. That's the number one thing. Have I hammered home on that today? Have we hammered home and you are walking away in the first hour and 23 minutes going, okay, I know what I should be focusing on. I shouldn't be focusing on any of that stuff. Do I teach my students about zoning when it's appropriate to learn about zoning? Of course. But giving you zoning information right now, is it going to move you forward or actually move you backwards? It's going to move you backwards. So stop asking those questions that are going to keep you from your goal, okay? In fact, you should be asking zoning questions once you have a lead in your hand, all right? So continuation of care is huge. Yes, Laura Meyer says, is underwriting going away? By June, underwriting will be gone. You won't have to underwrite or look at these deals, okay? It's super, super powerful. All right, so let's go back through, and then we're going to jump into creative finance and how do we actually go find these opportunities, okay? And I'll give you guys some good stories and examples of what this looks like, all right? So we're going to go back through this. So we want to focus on affordable housing. Affordable housing is RV parks. We already covered why. RV resorts, if you want to go a little bit more gangster and have the ability to make more money, but you have some hospitality elements there. You want to go trailer parks. Okay. People own their own trailers. You want to go mobile home parks. Okay. Mobile home parks, difference between mobile home parks and trailer parks is that usually trailer parks, people own their own trailer. Mobile home parks, you own the mobile home. Okay. This is usually the difference. You want to go after multifamily that focuses on affordable housing, multifamily. And you want these tenants in your multifamily to be either retired, Section 8, some sort of co-living. You can rent out these units to multiple people. You want nonprofit tenants in here, basically resilience against regular tenants. If you are going to go single family, which I've done hundreds and hundreds of single family properties, I have about 200 single family in my portfolio. Out of those single family properties, you want to have no regular tenants unless you're more advanced. No regular tenants unless you're advanced, okay? And your portfolio can handle a regular tenant. Regular tenants are the worst type of tenant. They have no government assistance. They're not protected against affordability. You want to stay away from things that are not affordable, okay? How do we know what's affordable, Pace? Different topic, different day. Advanced, you need to be advanced to do this. Or if you're going to do single family properties, you need to be doing some sort of co-living. That co-living should be, again, Section 8 is not going to allow you to do co-living. So that's out. Co-living is going to be more of a pad split. Okay, is going to manage your properties, a COC, continuation of care, HUD-VASH. Okay, one of these, continuation of care, is basically all nonprofits. Okay, like a Oxford House, etc. These are going to be the main asset types you want to go after if you want to be truly, truly protected. Okay, truly protected against, hey, I did the thing, I bought the property, I'm now retired, I don't have to worry about going back to rebuilding myself. I'll tell you why. I have a student back in 2021. He went and bought 50 rentals in 2 years inside of our community. Okay, 50 rentals in 2 years, and his primary tenant is a regular tenant. And he retired. Then in 2025, he came back and he said, I need to start replacing these tenants because now I'm starting to see issues where my tenants can't pay for like even somewhat affordable rents. They can't pay for them. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And he goes, I'm going to go get an RV park. Went and bought one RV park, and he makes more money on the RV park than he does on his 50 rentals. Okay. I have another student, Cheyenne. Let me pull this up. I was just in Cheyenne, Wyoming, doing a meetup with my students. And in Cheyenne, Wyoming, I had a gentleman come to me, and he says to me, I flew from, okay, this is Miles. Miles says, I flew from Pennsylvania to come say thank you to you. Miles flew all the way from Pennsylvania to Wyoming just to say thank you. He said him and his wife just bought their first RV park on seller finance, which we're going to jump into a little bit. And I said, man, I'm so excited for you. He goes, I just want to say thank you for changing my life. Me and my wife can both quit our job right now off this one RV park. You can do this on mobile home parks, one and done. Multifamily, one and done. Some businesses, one and done. I would stay away from 90% of the businesses that people say you should have. 90% of the businesses are going to be cooked. 90%. Okay. And I said, man, I'm so excited. Like, how do I help you with your second one? He goes, well, you already helped me with my first one. Like, I got my first RV park within 30 days of joining your community, changed my life. I flew all the way here. And he goes, I'm a quiet guy. I would never jump on a plane just to say thank you to another man. But he's like, you changed my life. And I want to look you in the eyes and just say thank you so much. And I kept pushing him on like, let's get your second one. He goes, nope, we're one and done, Pace. We're one and done. And so for the people in here that truly want to be protected against the future of what's happening, you want to truly be protected. You want to buy an asset type that you don't have to go back to the drawing board in 36 months after your retirement and go, this is no longer truly protected against what's happening inside of the AI or robotic space. Where are those people? Give me a me if that's you. You're like, I truly want to just be protected. I want to stay away from the things. I don't want to buy something or marry some type of asset type that gets me into a situation where I have to now go back to work to go build more assets. Okay. That is why I focused on these. Could I have spent more time today talking about building properties? Yes, I do new builds all the time. I do a lot of new builds. I love new builds. I love fixing and flipping. I love that. We wholesale a lot of properties We teach people how to do a lot of things, but wholesaling, fixing and flipping, building new builds is going to bring you some active income. It's nice to have that active income, but what I really want people to be way more aware of is why you should be focusing on the right asset types over the next 24 to 36 months. Okay. Alex says, I missed a lot of the webinar. Well, rule number one, when you come to a webinar late, okay, is don't ask questions. I'm sorry, you haven't asked a question, but I'm just saying if you show up late to any of my webinars, no. Yes, Celestine says, where does manufactured prefab homes fall? Manufactured houses are typically mobile homes. Okay, they're manufactured and they're on wheels. They have skirting around them. So prefab homes, that's also like tiny homes, all that kind of stuff. Those are considered mobile homes. Same category. Okay, same category. Awesome. So let's get into some stories. Let's talk about how do I find these deals, and I'm going to go through a handful of strategies. We're going to go through primarily. I'm going to show you guys the overwhelming, beautiful creative finance world that I live in and why I love this world, and everything else is a waste of your freaking time. Okay. Everything else is a waste of your time when you're brand new. Okay. Pace, you're so absolute. I know, because I ain't got no time, and neither do you. I don't have time to screw around. You guys don't have time to screw around. We got to get going. We got to go change our lives. And so here's what I learned. All right. I had a mentor at age 30. Her name is Bethany. Okay. Bethany taught me how to find deals. We'll talk about that for a little bit. I paid her $135,000. Do you think that that was a great investment for me? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Do you think that $135,000 is one of the greatest investments for me? Yes, because I actually paid attention and I took action. This is also why I do my trainings for 4 hours, is because I don't want the people that can't pay attention for 2 hours. I don't want the people around me that can only pay attention for 30 minutes. I don't want those people. I want the people that Bethany was looking for. I asked her, I was like, why so expensive? She said, if you think this is expensive, wait until they pass you the bill for doing nothing. I was like, ouch. Ouch. And I took action. Paid her $135,000, worked with her for a year. She's freaking awesome. Love that girl. Okay. She's not a girl. She's a full-blown woman, but she retired. At the time, what she really taught me, okay, what she really taught me was how to go find opportunities. Okay. And what I did for my first year with her is something that we in our community called bird dogging. Okay. I bird dogged for her, which means I brought her to deals that I had no idea how to accomplish them. Okay. And so this is what it looked like. She taught me, this is in I'm going to guess like 2013 timeframe. So about 13 years ago, she taught me how to spend money, which I'm not going to show you how to spend money today. Spend money on postcards. You don't want to learn that. I'm telling you, it's very expensive. Don't go this route. I'm just telling you what I learned. This also shows you how fast the world changes. Letters, billboards, radio advertisements, all this kind of stuff. This is how I learned. I learned old school 13 years ago. And what happened is these leads, people saw these advertisements, and these sellers would call me on my cell phone, and I had no idea what to do. And so what I did is I called Bethany. She was basically my JV partner, joint venture. JV means joint venture. I'm going to say it a second or third time. JV means joint venture. We're not business partners. We're just doing a joint venture temporarily. And she would go on appointments with me. Okay. And she would make calls with me, and she would do the paperwork for me, and she would be also my buyer. Okay. Why is this so critical? Okay. This is so critical because all of you guys in here that are paying attention, we got 1,900 people in here today. The number one thing you're going to think you're missing is going to be a list of these things. Watch this. Missing. And I'm going to have wide sweeping generalizations here so that we don't have to go through literally every single line item. But you're going to say you don't have proof of funds. Okay. So if I'm calling an agent or a seller and they want proof that I have money, well, I don't have proof of funds, Pace. Okay. I don't have credibility. I know I'm going to spell things wrong, guys. Just bear with me. I get it. I'm entertaining, communicating, whiteboarding, writing, spelling all simultaneously. So let me spell things wrong and let my brain's faster than my hand can be. So bear with me. Okay. Don't be like, wow, this guy's an idiot. No, I know I'm spelling them wrong, but also we have no time for perfection. Let's freaking go. We have no time for perfection. Okay, so proof of funds, credibility, you don't have sales skills, right? You don't understand human nature. You also don't understand how to solve a problem for a seller. We'll talk about that a lot today. You don't understand how to manage an asset. You don't understand the cash flow. You don't understand the laws. You don't understand the paperwork. Okay. You don't know when you're doing something right or wrong. All of these things, right? You also are going to have a consistency issue. Okay. Because if you run into any sort of challenge and you don't have a quick answer to that challenge, this resistance, okay, will keep you from taking action. It's the number one reason. Like if you were going to take action on your own, you would have already done that. It's very similar to going to the gym and being so overwhelmed with the opportunities of like dumbbells, free weights, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Do I do da, 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 da? Should I go to the Peloton? Should I play basketball? Should I do this? How many reps? What weight? I'm overwhelmed, right? How many people have felt that with real estate? You get so overwhelmed, you do nothing. Or you start doing a thing, you run into one challenge, and then you stop. And you go, oh man, I've been trying to get into real estate for 3 years. No, you have not. You've attempted to work for 15 minutes, and the second you hit a roadblock, you quit. Guess what? You're a human. This is how it's supposed to be. Give me a yes. You guys understand this. And you agree with this. How many people are stuck in that exact situation? Okay, so what should we do? Should we go learn how to get a proof of funds, credibility, sales skills, human relationships, human nature, solving problems, managing cash flow, creative finance, comping, underwriting, paperwork, what's right and wrong, laws? Things are changing so rapidly, you have no freaking clue. Okay. There you go. So Dave Hansen says 40 years due to one fear or another. Okay. Consistency, right? All of these things. What's another reason why you guys have, Martin Brown says, that's why I joined Sub 2 this morning. Thank you, Martin. You'll be coming into my office and spending a week with me, man. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So what are the issues? Okay. What are the issues do you guys run into? Like why you haven't taken action? Give me a yes, or give me analysis by paralysis. Okay. I think a lot of these things are going to be analysis paralysis topics, right? Analysis paralysis, confusing information. Okay. Got that. Fear, money. Okay. Risk, accountability, scared. Okay. But don't say scared, or don't say like, okay, don't tell me scared. Tell me why you're scared. Okay. Proof of funds is money. So let's not say money anymore. We've covered money. Okay. Overthinking. Okay. Overthinking is, okay. Got it. Fast information. You need fast information is what you need, correct? Or guidance by like another human being. Cool. How many of you guys need guidance by another human being? Now, here's what Bethany brought me. Do we all agree that when Bethany came into my life, Bethany already had all of this stuff? She had the proof of funds, the credibility, the sales skills, the human nature down. She understand how to solve problems, cash flow management, how to renovate a property, communicate with contractors, all of these types of things. And so if I partnered with Bethany, okay, Pace working with Bethany, I by immediate results have all of these things at my disposal. Is that correct? Yes or no? So do I need to go learn all of these things, or can I just leverage somebody else's that's willing to be my mentor or my partner in these particular situations? Okay, cool. So when you guys say, where do I start? I'm going to tell you guys right now, where do I start? Here's the answer. Where do I start, Pace? Where do I start? Where do I start? You want to make sure that you have a legitimate buyer that can bring all of those resources to you. Okay, you want to have a legitimate buyer so you can have all those resources for you. Okay, now for those of you guys that are not going to be able to get into my office, I am going to do an invite for people that want to be in my office here in probably about an hour. I'm going to show you guys how to find buyers right now. You guys want me to show you how to find buyers right now? Yes, Daryl says it's hard to find someone like you. I don't know anybody like me in that regard, but I'll show you guys how to find buyers. The people, I call them the freebies, the people that like the free stuff. All the freebies. I'm going to give you guys the freebie taste right now. Here's how you find buyers. Okay. Go to, this is free. All of this is free. All of this is free. All you freebies, this is free. We're going to go to propwire.com. This is my friend's website, propwire.com. I do not get paid by this at all. Okay. Jerry Norton, yes, Jerry Norton owns us. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to log in. It does not cost money, but I do have a login and I do pay $20 a month, but you don't have to. You don't have to pay the $20, $22 a month or whatever it is I pay him. Cool. Oh my gosh, this stupid password thing is so silly. All right, so we're going to go here and we're going to go to lead types and we're going to go to cash buyers. Cash buyers. I'm going to click on cash buyers and I'm going to search by, let's just say, I'll go to Charlotte, North Carolina. It doesn't matter where you go. There's buyers everywhere. And I'm going to give you guys a really, look at this. Look at all these buyers here. There's 92,342 buyers here. Now, we want to kind of filter this down. So we're going to go down to, let's see. We're going to go to the more. We're going to go to owner filters. We want them to be in state because we want them to help us. Individual type, we want them to be an individual. Actually, yeah, probably. Cash buyer, yes. Absentee owner, yes. That means they don't live in the property. Okay, and then we're going to go down to financial filters, estimated value, foreclosure filters. I think we'll go. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. It'll cut it down quite a bit. Okay, 12,589 results. There you go. That'll cut it down. You can mess around with these filters for free. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You guys can go and do this on your own. Let's go to foreclosure filters, no, financial filters. I want people to have like a certain amount of properties that they've done. LMLS, owner filters. Come on, there's got to be another one. Okay, owner's portfolio value. So let's do, I want to hang out with people that have a $25 million value, $25 million portfolio value. That's going to take me down to, wow, 11,901 people. Okay, cool. So there you go. Go to propwire.com. It's completely free. You can find these people. Let me walk you through what that actually looks like. And when you DM me in 2 weeks and you're pissed off at me, I'm telling you right now what you're going to experience. If you are not paired up with a buyer that I know, you are going to have a very, very hard time finding a buyer. I'll tell you why. One, they don't want to be found. Okay, but this is the right thing. You either hire a mentor or find a buyer and you bring them value. Either way, those are basically the two ways. Otherwise, you're going to flounder for years. You're going to waste your time and you ain't got no time. We've already covered that. You have no time. You have zero time. So you're going to go and find a legitimate buyer. Option A is you're a freebie. Anybody that likes just free stuff, you're one of the freebies. You're going to go to PropWire. Okay, then you're going to go and find their information on PropWire. And because PropWire is free, it's not going to give you any phone numbers. And so you got to go get another freebie resource. You're going to go to truepeoplesearch.com. Don't ask me how to spell it. You should know how to spell that, truepeoplesearch.com. And then what's going to happen is you're going to reach out to about 200 of these buyers. I'd say out of those 200 buyers, you're going to get about 23 to 25 of those people to actually answer the phone. Out of those 23 to 25 people that answer the phone, you're going to get 1 to 4 of those people that are willing to actually look at deals you send them. Okay. And you're going to try and select one of these people and hope that they continue to work with you for a long period or a long duration. That is the framework. Okay. Have I clearly told you what your steps are to go find a buyer? Yes or no? Okay. And for the freebies, the people that like the free stuff, you basically like change your own oil and like clean your own teeth. You don't go to the dentist. You like to remove your own cavities, all those kind of people. Okay. Those people, I just gave you a freebie right there. Okay. There's the framework. Okay. Now, for me, what I did is I'm like, look, what I did is I worked with Bethany. I just wanted one person I knew that I could be paired up with that I already knew was doing stuff in the market and had the mindset of I want to help other people, right? I want to find a helper. I want to find somebody who is a helper, who understands collaboration and all that kind of stuff. And I'll kind of walk you through what this looks like as well. We're going to do a bunch of creative finance deals, but I want you to understand as I'm going through the creative finance stuff and where to find them, you're going to go, but what do I do? We're going to cover that first, then we're going to jump into the creative finance stuff. Okay. Awesome. By the way, you're going to start, it's about 2 hours in. We're about 2 hours in. You're going to start seeing the not serious people leave. For you not serious people, I hope you got value today. We're about to get into the deep stuff. I thank you guys for hanging out with me for an hour and 45 minutes, but I already know your personality type. You can't pay attention. You were never meant to be a partner with me, but I wish you all the luck. You're going to start, people are going to start weeding themselves out. We have about 1,900 people roughly in here. You're going to see by the end of the webinar, we'll be closer to like 1,400 people. 400 people in here cannot hang. They can't spend the time and the attention. So when you guys think there's competition, I want you to be very clear. When somebody's doing a free webinar that knows what they're doing, is talking fast and giving value very, very, very quickly, you're going to see that probably 25% of people can't even watch the first training. Then it gets even worse. Like down the road, 80% of people will leave the webinar that stuck around and literally do nothing with anything I taught them. Okay. It's the 20% of people that are on here today that I'm looking for, the people that are going to end up doing deals with me. Those are the people I'm looking for. And so sometimes the length of time is the greatest weeding out process on the planet, is because I do this to become partners with people. Okay. So now the way this works, I'll pull up a good example of this. The way this works is when you get paired up with somebody that knows what they're doing, it cuts down your learning curve by probably 5 to 10 years, and you're doing deals like nearly immediately. Okay, so let's go to, some of you guys have seen the story because it's just popped up in the last couple of weeks, but I just bought a 24-plex, $0 out of pocket, and this is going to be the start of our creative finance training, but this is important for you guys to see. Okay. All right, so here we are in New Orleans. This is just something from my iPhoto. October 7th, 2025, just a couple of months ago. This girl in the pink, as you can see, her name is Robin. She's you, okay? I spent money on ads to get Robin's attention. How many people are in here because of an ad you saw of mine? Give me a yes if you're in here today because of an ad you saw. Okay, there's Robin Schnorrenberg. She now owns 2 RV parks, a business. She's done probably 15, 20 deals. I just met her back in October. Okay. She was on a training like this, just like you are. Okay. So my goal for you, okay, my goal for you is to be Robin. How many people want to be Robin in this? Because you saw an ad, you took the faith, you came in here and you watched my training. Next thing you know, you're in a 24 unit deal. You see that deal right there? It's 3223 West 3rd Street in New Orleans. This is a 24-plex full of Section 8 nonprofit and veteran housing recipients, 24 units. I bought this with 0% seller finance. I'm going to tell you guys why, how, all that kind of stuff in a little bit. Okay. What did Robin have to do? What did Robin have to do? Here's what Robin had to do. I paired her up. You see Adam right there in the blue shirt straight ahead. He's in the middle holding the documents. Robin had to get paired up with Adam. Robin had to get paired up with Adam. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to invite some of you guys. Usually it's about 25 people from each one of these Zooms that I do, which is, they're not that often. I'll invite 25 of you guys today to come to my office in person and spend a week with me and a bunch of other buyers that I can pair you guys up with, so that when you guys leave home, number one, you've done deals with me live. And number two, you get paired up with a buyer long-term that's in our community that can make your calls for you, bring the proof of funds, go on site, do all of those things. Okay. My office is in Phoenix, Arizona, guys. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. So for those people that I'm inviting, we usually open it up for about 25 people. If you want to be a Robin, type in the word Robin in the side chat. And let's tell you guys the story of Robin for a couple of minutes so you understand, as I go through some of these stories, you're going to ask the question of, am I ready to be Robin or am I ready to be Adam? 2 different categories. So when people ask, where do I start? Well, you either start as Robin or you start as Adam. Okay, cool. Robin is the person that joined our community. She joined Sub 2. She's invited to my office to spend a week with me. And at the end of that stint, at the end of that time, she gets paired up with a high-level buyer. Okay, so let's talk about who Adam is, where Adam came from. Well, Adam joined Sub 2 2022, scaled and has done hundreds of deals, retired from the military in this duration. This is my students. This is what we do. I help people get retired through creative finance. And then now what Adam does is Adam goes, how can I help? I'm ready to help. And I want to do even more deals. I want to scale. And so what I do is I go, all right, all the buyers in the community that have retired and are ready to help, I want you guys to be paired up with some of the new people in the office. And Robin comes to my office after joining Sub 2. So she joins Sub 2 community, comes in my office, spends a week. Her and I do 2 deals together that week. Her and I did her first 2 deals together. She then goes home and she works with Adam long term. Now, what does Adam do? Now, does she have access to hundreds of other buyers? Yes, but I want to make sure I pair her up with one so she has at least one anchor buyer. What ends up happening is all she had to do is, this is where this lead came from. She went on Crexy.com, You guys can all go on Crexi.com right now. I'll show you how easy this is. Crexi.com. I do not own this website. I do not get paid to promote this website, but this is where this 24plex came from. Let's go to Crexi.com. You're going to go and watch this, and you're going to type in owner finance. Guys, I made them add that filter. Look at all this. There's 16,000 people that are willing to sell RV parks, hotels, gas station, laundromats, all this stuff are willing to sell on owner finance. We'll talk about more of owner finance here in a little bit. I promise you guys are going to walk away today feeling like you got a $100,000 masterclass. Okay. All she had to do was click on one of these. Okay. She then had to go down to the brokers down here. There's always a broker. Okay. This one is Gerard Wombles. Get his phone number. It's all free. I gave her a script. Adam then, she goes to Adam and says, what are you looking for? Adam says, I want 18 to 50 unit multifamily deals. And this is the next step. She goes on Crexi.com. There's other websites you can go to as well, loopnet.com. But again, here's what all the non-thinkers are going to think. This is also the freebies, okay? This is what the freebies are going to do. The freebies, people that like free stuff, they don't like be part of communities. They just like YouTube. They like absorbing free information. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to be writing down Crexi, so excited. They're going to write down loopnet.com, so excited. Then what they're going to do is in 2 weeks, they're going to DM me on Instagram and they go, hey, Pace, do you like this deal on Crexi? I'm not your buyer. Go find a different buyer. You sending me a link on one of these does not do me any good. Okay, I can go get those links on my own. Where does Robin provide value? Robin provides value by calling the broker. I train her on how to do this. Here's the broker. And Robin calls the broker and says, hey, broker, my name is Robin, and I work with a buyer in the area, and I'm just wondering, is your client open to creative finance? And broker says, oh, they might be. Yes, no, whatever. Robin then says, well, I'm brand new. I actually don't know a lot. I'm just kind of pairing up with some people that are credible. When could I have my partner Adam call you? How many people feel like you could do that? Give me a yes if you feel like you could do that part. You don't need the credibility. You don't need to lie. You don't need to tell people you are what you are not. I'm a cash buyer. I'm an investor. No, say I'm brand new. I'm finding deals for somebody who's not. I'm finding deals for somebody who has credibility. When can you get on the phone with them? Okay, cool. So this is Robin. Robin does this. She pairs up with Adam. Adam then goes and gets on the phone with this broker. Okay, and Adam's done hundreds of deals since joining our community, so he's a leader. Adam gets on the phone with the broker. They work out, this is the deal on that 24plex. Okay, here's the deal. $3 million purchase price. Sounds really heavy. Okay, $3 million purchase price. $0 out of pocket, so the seller just said, take it over. Okay, 0% interest, 0 payments for 18 months. I'll tell you why. I'll give you guys a good story of why this is the case. And this property has a 10-year balloon. Okay, that means that I can make payments to the seller for 0 payments for 18 months, 0% interest ever. Okay, there's no interest on this whatsoever, and no money out of pocket. In fact, the seller paid the closing costs. Why? Why would the seller do that? I told you where a lot of our larger assets are found, Crexi.com, loopnet.com. There's like 15 other websites that are found as well. But that broker is now, we're doing another 44 unit deal with that broker. Why would the seller be willing to do that? Why would the seller be willing to do a deal like that? Well, here's what happens with a lot of sellers that are like, they own one property and they have not taken care of that property. What they've done is they've lived off the cash flow of that property for so long that they have not renovated or fixed it all the way up. Let me see if I can find the owner. Okay, here we go. Here's the owner. This is very common, happens all the time. I'll go through a handful of deals today. And so here's this property. The lady in the blue shirt on the left is she's on my team, and this is her daughter. So the girl in the green dress is just a teenager there along for the ride. Robin is in front of Heidi. Adam is my leader that I paired up with Robin. The gentleman in all black, that is the seller who has owned this property for over 20 years. Okay. So why would this seller be willing to sell this property for no money out of our pockets, pays the closing costs, no money, no payments for 18 months, and no interest whatsoever, and then start making him payments on the 18th month. Why would he be willing to do that? The reason why he's willing to do this is because the typical landlord, please write this down. It's my engineer friends. Okay. My engineer friends have a really hard time understanding this. Do you feel like this seller was going to, we call them accidental landlords. They did not mean to be a landlord. This is like 70% of the people you're going to talk to. Do you feel like they're going to seminars, paying for books, paying for mentorships, joining classes and educating themselves? Or do you feel like they bought something and they started living on the cash flow of it? And as that cash flow comes in, they spend it all on their living expenses. And then what ends up happening is they have bad cash flow management. They don't repair the property. And so what they do is now the property, he has 8 empty units in this 24-plex because he never renovated the units. 8 empty units out of 24. So the reason why we structured 18 months of no payments is we said, we got to fix those units. So we're going to take the cash flow that comes in for the first 18 months and repair those other units. We don't want to make any payments to you. We want to improve the property. And he was like, no problem. I don't want the headache of this property anymore. Does this make sense? How many people had an aha moment? Oh, that makes sense. Why wouldn't he do this? Okay. They call these people slumlords. That doesn't mean they're bad people. It means that they take a lot of the cash flow. They live on the cash flow. They never improve the property. And then over time, the property falls into disarray. It still makes money, but it's just not in its former glory. Can I get a yes that this makes sense? Okay. Now, also the seller is in his 70s. He's now over 70 years old. Does he want to be, it's kind of a game where he doesn't want to go in there and go, gosh, dang it. Now I got to deal with the contractors and all that kind of stuff. So for us, we get to come into that situation, buy a property with no money down, $3 million, no interest, and the seller gives us 10 years to build that property up and then sell it. I could sell the property in 10 years. It'll be worth $6 million. So I'll make $3 million. I could just pay it off with the cash flow if I really wanted to. Okay. Does this make sense to you guys? What a tired landlord is and how they became a landlord in the first place is by being an accidental landlord. Okay. They were accidental landlords. All right. I'll give you another good example of this. So where did we find that property? I just covered it. What was Robin's involvement is I just covered it. She literally set up an appointment with the broker. Broker meets Adam and her on site. Why do I have a photo? Because I was there. Why was I there? Because I bought the 24-plex with Robin. Now you understand why I do these trainings. I want to buy more properties. I want to have a nationwide group of people bringing me opportunities, and I can pair you up with people. 90% of the transactions don't go through me. Probably 1 to 5% of the transactions do. I fund a lot of the transactions. So do you understand why I do these trainings? Is for you to become Robin. You come to my office, spend a week with me and my team. We teach you how to do deals. I'll do a deal or two with you live. Then when you leave, I pair you up with buyers long-term. Do we understand why I do these trainings? Can I get a yes? Okay. So I understand, and I'll tell you, I used to have acquisition people. I don't like acquisition people. Why? Salespeople just want to be you. And so I learned, like, I'm training them, putting them all together. I'm paying them commissions. I'm basically paying them to learn how to steal my business model and then go off on their own. What I then realized in 2019 is like, well, if I just have an abundant mindset and I create an environment where I can create leaders and leaders and leaders all over the country, then I can bring in new people, do deals with them for a little bit. Then they go off with these leaders and do deals with them. And I have a cycle where I can continue to do deals. It's freaking the best. Okay. Yes. Rihanna says community is everything. With AI, why is Robin necessarily anymore? Great question. Can AI show up at a property and show this seller? Can you show up to the property with AI and show the seller that you're a credible human being and look them in the face and get this deal done? Yes or no? AI will get you in the streets more often. That's what is so great about real estate, is that there are elements of real estate that will never be replaced. Okay, Sean Bailey, is the seller going to do a deal with a Tesla robot in the street? No. Do you understand why this position of Robin and Adam and the owner of the real estate is actually protected from AI and why this is a good pathway for you to take? There you go. So the value is now Adam, as a leader in our community, now gets to do this deal. So Adam, here's what's cool. He's a leader. And so I only own, this is what's great, Adam I only own 30% of this. Adam, who's our leader in the community, a lot of like gangster, awesome real estate investors end up joining Sub 2 because they want to be Adam right out of the gate. They're like, I already do real estate. I could just be Adam and have new people bringing me deals. Okay. Adam owns 70% of the deal. I own 30% of the deal. Why? Well, because I have my own team and we're doing our own RV parks over here. So I don't want to get distracted. I'm doing my own RV parks, but I get to be part of a lot of people's deals at 30% here, 40% here, 60% here, 40% here. I'm going to talk about a handful of those deals. And so I get to participate in hundreds and hundreds of deals because of this mechanism I built. And basically the mindset I had was what I got when I first started. Like, I need a Bethany. I need somebody that's going to go on site with me, help me out, make the calls for me, walk me through my transaction, and be my partner on the deal, not just a mentor. Mentors are great, thousands of mentors. Heck, I got free mentors. Sometimes the guy at Burger King is giving me relationship advice. That guy could be my mentor too, but he ain't going to be my partner. And so the reality is I'm looking for partners. Okay. I'm looking for people who want to partner with me on real estate. Who in here wants to partner with somebody on real estate rather than just have a mere mentor? Okay. Awesome. So this transaction is called seller finance. This is a seller finance transaction. Okay. Seller finance transaction. We're going to talk about other types of transactions. Cool. Jeff Ervick says, I'm the Adam. What are you guys in here? An Adam or a Robin? What are you guys? Adam or Robin? And here's a good question. Is there a place for Adams in my community that now you don't ever have to go and do the initial call? You have the Robins of our community setting you up and teeing you up. This is the most symbiotic, unbelievable way to build a community. And what's great about real estate is everybody can make money. So how much did Robin make on this deal? Robin on that deal made 10 grand on the finder's fee. She didn't have to lock up the contract, negotiate the contract, go to the property and walk the property. She didn't have to underwrite the property, buy the property, manage the property, deal with anything. She didn't have to deal with anything. But what she did get is she got paid 10 grand for setting up the appointment. She then got a front row passenger seat in the transaction and was able to learn on the job, going to the property, getting paid up front to get the deal just teed up an appointment. Adam closed it. Adam negotiated. Adam and my team did the paperwork. And now my team and Adam are managing that asset. Now, what's cool is that was back in October. Robin now, I believe, owns about $5 million in RV parks already just within the last 6 months. So can you start being Robin very quickly and get to owning very quickly as well? Okay, where are my Robins in here? Brandy Fowler says, how? Brandy, am I not doing a good job of explaining this? Cool. Where are my Robins in here? And where are my Adams in here? We're going to have both of those, right? A Robin and Adam. Awesome. Okay, so that's a seller finance transaction. What does that mean? That means the seller has no debt. Okay, the seller has that property paid off free and clear. And so I can go to the seller and upgrade him from being the landlord to being the bank. Okay, landlord to lender, landlord to lender. So I'm upgrading that seller. Now let's talk about why a seller would do this. We've kind of talked about why a seller would do this, but let's give you a couple of other reasons why a seller would sell on seller finance rather than on cash. Okay, for my technical people in here that want a lot of technical stuff, let's go technical. All right, number one reason is they get paid more money. Okay, paid more money. How do I know that? Well, because this seller had this property listed on Crexi for over 6 months, and he was originally listed at 3 million. He went down to 2.9, then he went to 2.8, then he went to 2.7 over the 6 months. Okay, we came in and paid him 3 million. Okay, why would the seller do that? Well, because he's going to make a lot more money long term. Well, yeah, but Pacey's not receiving all that money up front. Yes, that goes into number two, taxes. This owner bought this property for $1 million 20 years ago. It's now worth triple that. Welcome to real estate. It's now worth $3 million. Forget about the cash flow he's made over all that time, but he bought this for $1 million. And what is the government going to do to you on this $2 million gain, my friends? What's the government going to do? Are they going to let you walk away with that $2 million for free? Okay, so if he did sell it for $3 million for cash, he's gonna end up paying the government about $500,000 in cash. Does anybody want to go and wait 20 years to make $2 million just for the government to take $500,000 of it? Yes or no? Yeah, this is called capital gains. Did you guys know that seller finance or creative finance actually allows the seller to remove the obligation of paying that tax? Because we're spreading that money he's receiving over time. Write that down. The seller will effectively pay $0 in taxes. So why would the seller sell to you? Well, he's getting more money. Do we agree he's getting more money? Yes or no? Frida says, can I get an invite to your office? Tell me more. I'll tell you guys more, but I want to weed out the people that can't hang tight with me. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So we know he's going to get paid more money. We know he's going to pay way less in taxes. Here's another thing. 3, why else would he? He doesn't have to repair the property. Okay. So if he's having a hard time selling the property, he's got 8 vacant units. We already talked about this. Okay. 8 vacant units. We already talked about it. Does he want to go and renovate these 8 units? No, he's been living on the freaking cash flow. He doesn't have the cash. He's been sucking it up dry. I don't know. He might have a gambling addiction. I don't know. Okay. Cool. Christopher says, I will come to Phoenix today. I'm not doing another Phoenix in my office thing until I think March 26th. So it's about a month away. I'll give you guys the dates here in a little bit. Okay. So this property, by the way, does cash flow. Just FYI, it makes a lot of money. But what are we doing for the first 18 months is that this property brings in, right now there's 24 units and 8 of them are vacant. So this is it has 16 units. It's bringing in $16,000 a month right now. How much is my payment to the seller? How much is my payment to the seller, guys? It's $0 for at least 18 months. So if I have $16,000 coming in for 18 months, okay, we're looking at $200,000+ that I can go and take those 8 units and renovate them, get them up and going. But I do have about $50,000 that I'm going to pay out for taxes and insurance and stuff like that. Okay, I do have those types of things. But the $150,000 in cash flow that I get from this property will go directly into getting the other 8 units up and operational. Those 8 units, now they're up and operational, gives me now 24 units that will be rented out. About 23 of those units will be permanently rented out. You always have 1 or 2 empty ones. This property with Section 8 and HUD VASH and nonprofit tenants will bring in close to $30,000 per month. My payment to the seller is now $10,000 a month. How much of that is principal and how much of that is interest? I'm not going to go slow, guys. We got to go fast. Do we all agree I can go fast tonight? Okay, I'm not going to go back. I'm writing it on the board. I'm saying it fast. I'm not mincing my words. I'm communicating clearly. I'm not going to go backwards. You got to hang tight. I'm weeding out the not serious people by how fast I'm talking. Okay. $10,000 goes to the seller. How much of that payment is interest? How much of that is interest? 0% interest. So is my net worth going up $10,000 every single month, even though I'm making that payment to the seller? Is my net worth going up in value? This is what's great about creative finance. I'm not paying some stupid bank some payment, okay? Now, out of that $30,000, I've got $20,000 that I still have to pay. I'm going to have management, taxes, repairs, all that kind of stuff. This property will have about $10,000 in cost, okay? That's taxes, insurance, repairs, vacancy, handyman, this, that, and the other, all sorts of things. This property will net me and my partner, Adam, $10,000 per month net. Adam on this one deal will get $7,000 and I will get $3,000 a month. Do you understand why I do this? Now, more importantly, he gets $7,000 in his pocket. I get $3,000 in my pocket, but also we made a $10,000 payment to the seller. The property, we start at $3 million. When we start making payments, the first payment will take it to $2,990,000. Next payment will go $2,980,000 and so on, right? No interest at all. And so not only will I get $3,000 cash in my pocket every month, I will also get $3,000 attributed to my net worth every single month. So how much am I truly making every single month? For me, just the 30%. I'm making about $6,000. Now, here's the best part about this, in my personal opinion. If I buy this $3 million multifamily, no bank, right? No credit. if I buy this $3 million deal, all of this is great, and cash flow is great too, but I want tax benefits myself. Because I bought this property, the IRS will give me about a $2.1 million tax benefit through what's called a cost segregation. I'm not going to explain what a cost segregation is today. Who knows what a cost segregation is, and you want some of these cost segregations in your life? You guys can Google this later, right? Information's free nowadays, my friends. You can go get all the information you want. Okay, Ryan says, I've done 5 cost segs. Perfect. Okay, this is how we pay 0 taxes on other deals. Okay, so here's what's cool about this. Watch. In one of my other businesses, I fix and flip properties. Okay, I've got 15 properties I'm fixing and flipping in Seattle. And I'm going to make about $1.8 million net on those properties. $1.8 million net on those properties. I will pay $0 in taxes on those properties because this property over here gave me a $2.1 million write-off to wipe out that $1.8 million. Okay. How do you do a cost segregation on a property that isn't in your name? Christina, I'm confused why you would think that this property is not my name. Let's talk about that. Let me pull you up here. I think you're confused on how real estate works. Let's talk about that. That's a great question. And this, guys, this is not off topic. This is very much on topic. Christina is asking a really good question. Christina, I don't know why you got 2 devices you're listening to, but you do. I'm trying to guess which one is the right one. Christina, talking is permitted. You can talk. I don't know which device to choose, but I've chosen both of them.
Hi.
You got to choose the right device for you to select. Christina's desperately trying to figure out how to unmute herself.
How does that work?
Christina, can you talk?
Can you hear me?
Okay. So a lot of people will say, well, you don't own the property. Hold on a second. I don't own the property? What do you mean I don't own the property? Christina, can you come on here and let's clarify this?
Sure. Can you hear me?
You can tell some people in here don't know how to unmute themselves. That's okay. No problem. I'll take her off. Okay. Let's see here. Who in here doesn't understand that I own the property? Let's bring you up here. Let's have a chat. Oh, you guys could hear her. I might be on mute. Okay, cool. Hold on. Christina, can I bring you up here one more time? I'm sorry. I think that I did not have my audio up. Maybe that's what it was. You there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So why do you believe I don't own the property?
Well, not that you don't own the property, but that your name isn't on title.
Why would my name not be on title?
Well, because in seller finance, isn't it still in the previous owner's name?
No, you're talking about sub 2, and it's even in sub 2, which we're going to talk about next, it's not in the seller's name either. Christina, do you own your own property?
Yes.
Okay, so Christina, you have a house you live in, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 2 types of documents that I think you might be confusing, and I think this question is really good for the audience. So you went out and you got a loan at a bank, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what's that bank's name?
Chase.
Okay, cool. So you went to Chase. Chase gave you a loan. That loan is called a mortgage, correct?
Yes.
Cool. So does Chase own your house or do you own your house?
I own my house. But Chase technically owns my house.
No, technically they do. I get the joke, but they technically do not own your house. Okay, they technically do not own your house. How do we know they don't own your house? How do we know that? Not possession. Don't say that you possess it. Possession is 9/10 is a lie. That's not a real thing. Possession is not it. Otherwise, your tenants would own your house. Why do we know you own this house?
Well, I'm on title.
Okay, you're on title. Okay, there's 2 things called title and deed. Okay, the deed is actually the thing we care about, not the title.
Okay.
The deed is the document that shows who is the owner. Okay, so who the owner is on the deed. That is at the county recorder's office. So you can pull up public record and see the deed. Title is how you hold the deed. So think about this. If let's say I have $20, okay, $20 is proof I'm holding $20. I own that. But how I hold that $20 is different. That would be title. So $20 is in my pocket versus $20 in the bank. That's a different way of me holding that $20. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so title is how I hold the property, but deed is who owns the property. So if the deed is in my name, but I'm making a payment to Chase, who owns the property?
Well, then I would own the property if my name's on the deed.
There you go. So in a seller finance situation, the seller becomes Chase and I make a payment to them. The deed comes into my name on public record and in the IRS's eyes. I pull all the cost segregation. I get all the write-offs. I get all the appreciation. I am the owner, not the seller. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you for clarifying.
No problem. So the mortgage document and the ownership have nothing to do with each other, like quite literally nothing to do with each other. Just like Chase and your deed, Chase, if let's say you stop making payments to Chase, hypothetically, what a foreclosure is, here's what a foreclosure is. A foreclosure is Chase saying, man, we're really pissed off that Christine has not made her payment to us. So we have to go out and we have to hire a law firm. And that law firm has to warn you, email notification, calls. And then after a certain amount of time, that law firm can then go, hey, we're going to go and take that deed back from you so that Chase can go and take that property back. If Chase owned that property, they would never have to go and chase the deed from you and take the deed from you. What state do you live in?
Oregon.
Okay, so Oregon, your state hates landlords. And so what's going to happen is it's going to take a long time for foreclosures to happen. You guys probably have 1 to 2, sometimes even 3-year foreclosure processes. So you could stop making your payment to Chase and it might take two years for Chase to get that house back from you. If they were the actual owner, they wouldn't have to go through this process. I know you now know this, but I just want to be very clear to everybody else in the audience. Was that helpful for other people to understand that when I buy on seller finance, I am actually the true owner on record? Okay, cool.
Great. Thank you.
No problem. Great question. Now, Christina, if you were in my community, I'd teach you some other really high level stuff, but today is not the day for that. I want to go fast, invite some people to my office and move as fast as we possibly can. But that question was so important. Okay. Awesome. But can you explain the tax advantage split? That is such a deviation from what we're talking about today. Okay. Has everybody learned a lot today? Have you guys gotten a lot of value today? Hung out with me for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Awesome. Very, very cool. So let's go through a couple more examples. Okay. Some other types of creative finance. So creative finance is a big umbrella. So when you guys hear about creative finance, there's a massive umbrella. All sorts of creative strategies. Okay. Some of them I made up, others I did not. Me and our community just perfected them. So one of them is seller finance. So that's where a seller is financing you, right? Seller is financing you. Then also some people will call this owner finance. Okay. Similar, but not the same actually. So check this out. I'm going to fry some brains here and I'm going to confuse some people. Let's say that the seller on that 24 unit sold that property to me and he gave me 0% interest, 0 payments for 18 months, all that kind of stuff. He seller financed that property to me. Now I make a monthly payment to him. We understand what seller finance is, right? Everybody understands what seller finance is. Can I get a yes? You understand what seller finance is? I have no credit check, no banks involved, no government approval. Nobody asked if I had a W-2. I could be an illegal alien. I do not even have to be a resident of the United States to do this. Literally. Okay. Awesome. Now, couldn't I find somebody in this audience today that I could, now I'm the new owner, I could now owner finance this property to one of you guys at 24 units, but charge you 4% interest and you still would say this is an incredible deal? That would be called owner finance. I'm not the seller anymore. That guy sold the property out. Now I'm the owner finance. You guys understand the difference between seller finance and owner finance now? People use them interchangeably, but they're actually incorrect. Okay. So I could pass this ownership to the next person and I could owner finance it to the other person. Okay. I just fried some brains. Some people are like, you're going too fast. Perfect. I'm trying to weed out the people that are not meant to do business with me. Okay. Why would you ever use a bank again? I'll tell you guys, why would we ever use a bank again? Anybody confused? Like, when would Pace use a bank? I do use a bank. Here's when I will use a bank. I'll give you guys a couple of good examples of when I'll use a bank. To buy a property, I'll give you guys my next strategy. To buy a property, Yeah, the new person could get the, we're getting into the weeds. We're going to try not to get into the weeds today. This is not today to get into the weeds. I teach my students all of this stuff in depth, dozens and dozens of hours, live sessions, all that kind of stuff. Today, the main thing I'm looking for is, can I find 25 partners today? That's my main thing I'm looking for today. And I'm going to teach you guys a lot, whether you guys get invited or not to be in my office. I'm going to give you guys a lot of value regardless, so that I deserve to invite 25 people to my office. That's my main goal today. And I can't teach you everything about creative finance. I have 3,700 YouTube videos. If you want to learn more about creative finance, go on my YouTube channel, search, absorb information. Hopefully it's helpful for you. Okay, so let's go back to that umbrella. Okay, big umbrella, creative finance, seller finance is one, seller finance, owner finance, okay? Sub 2 is a huge one. This is what my brand is named after, but I do all things creative finance. I'll cover sub 2 here in a little bit, but let's talk about one that I invented called the Morby method. Okay, this is one I invented called the Morby method. You actually use a bank in the Morby method, okay? There's a bank involved in this transaction that I actually go and get a new loan. So let's say I go to a seller and the seller actually wants a big down payment. You will run into sellers who are like, yeah, you know, I've got a $5 million RV park. I will let you buy this park for me, but I want a $1 million down payment because I want to pay off this loan. I wanted this, that, and the other. That's a big chunk of money. So what I'll do is I'll go to that seller. You guys will see a lot of these Morby method videos online. I will go to the seller and go, hey, no problem on the 1 million. I actually would prefer to pay you $2.5 million down if you want that much money. Why? You'll see why in a second. I'm going to make this really simple. What I will do is I will go to one of my banks. Okay, one of the banks that I give my sub 2 community members access to is one of my banks. Will bring the $2.5 million loan. That $2.5 million goes to the seller. I now still owe the seller how much money? If I gave him $2.5 million down, how much more money do I still owe the seller? Okay, perfect. Here's what's happening. Okay, I'm glad you were all on the same page. I still owe the sellers $2.5 million, right? So I go get a loan for $2.5 million. I help my students get these loans all the time. So if you're new and you're like, I can't get a loan that much, I help my students get loans like this all the time. I sponsor their loans. I use my credit, all that kind of stuff. This is the only creative finance strategy that does use a bank. So that $2.5 million comes from a bank, and then the seller is still owed $2.5 million. Now, why would I give the seller way more money than he asked for? Is because I'm now going to ask the seller for his $2.5 million. I'm going to ask him for no payments, and I'm going to ask him for no interest on the remaining balance for 5 years while I get the asset up and going. And so I'm $0 out of pocket. A lot of my students, I actually got a student that got paid $400,000 up front to buy a multifamily property a couple of weeks ago. So the Morby method is when a seller needs a large down payment and you also want to get paid a big chunk of money up front for buying that deal. I can't go into the details of Morby method. Otherwise, this will be a 5-hour, 6-hour, 7-hour training. We don't have time for that. But do we know the one strategy that we do use in creative finance that requires a bank and it still requires no money out of pocket? Do we all understand this vaguely? Do we all understand this at least vaguely? Okay, the Morby method, I'd probably say about 500 of my students use that every single month, 500 plus. It's crazy. Somebody in the side chat says, all I do is Morby method. So I got a lot of students. How many people are in here and are in sub 2? Okay, so you see a lot of my students come in here. I don't know why they come on my Zooms that are open, but they do, and they like to hang out with me. But you have a lot of people in here. Okay, cool. They just joined. Makes sense. Or it's a refresher. I don't know why you need a refresher. I have way better training inside of sub 2. But if you like, here's the right answer. If you're in sub 2, the reason why you come on here is because you like the vibration of the live versus a pre-recorded. Does that make sense? Cool. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, awesome, cool. So that's another strategy. Let's talk about another strategy underneath that umbrella. There are 26 creative finance strategies under this umbrella. Seller finance, owner finance, sub 2, Morby method. We've got lease options. Ooh, I love lease options. I'll talk about a lease option. Dating contracts, master leases, novation agreements, hybrids, Wraps. Okay. There's a lot of strategies underneath each one, underneath the umbrella of creative finance. What I teach my sub 2 community is creative finance. I don't teach them sub 2. I teach them owner finance, seller finance, Morby methods, lease options, master leases, dating contracts, novation agreements, wraps, hybrids, okay, all sorts of things. And they all have a different reason for using them. Is this overwhelming? Is this overwhelming? Yes or no? In the side chat, give me a yes. Is it? Tony's like, no. Most people are going to say this is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. It would take you 15 hours to like truly understand each one of these strategies. But I need you to understand something, okay? You don't just pick and choose which strategy to use. The seller and their situation tells you what strategy to use, okay? So watch this, okay? Let's go through and we'll do a little bit of a filter. Watch the side chat. All my students in here are going to answer the question. Let's say the seller has no debt, right? They have the property paid off free and clear, like that 24-plex. What strategy are we going to use? He has no debt. Okay, either A, we're using seller finance, or B, if he wants a big down payment, we're using Morby method. Or C, if he doesn't trust me, we're going lease option. And D, if he really doesn't trust me, we're going dating contract. Do you see how this changes based on the ifs? Okay. It changes based on the ifs. And so these 4 strategies would work. I would never do a sub 2 with this guy because there's nothing for me to sub 2. We'll talk about that next. Okay. The strategy matches the seller in their situation. The investor doesn't choose. I don't choose as the investor. The seller and their situation changes what strategy I use. Can I get a yes? By the way, guys, look at we have 100 people that couldn't hang out for 2.5 hours. Do you see why I do these long trainings? People can't hang. If you couldn't hang with me for 2.5 hours, you can't hang out with me in my office and do deals with me. I don't need the non-serious people. I need to get you out of here. You guys want to know what a dating contract is? Let's break down a dating contract. Okay, a lot of you guys have never heard of a dating contract. Let's go through one. Okay, so let's go through a dating contract. These are pretty rare, but they do solve a big, significant issue. Okay, so I've got a seller that doesn't trust me. Doesn't trust me. Cool. If I have a seller that doesn't trust me, I'm going to do what's called a lease option for 2 years, and then convert that lease option to a sub 2 deal. I'll break that down for you here in just a second on an actual deal. So I dated him here. Okay, this is a date. So one creative strategy. Then I converted it to another creative strategy once I built proof. If I made 2 years of payment to the guy, am I ready to marry him now? Does he now believe in my dating? I dated him for 2 years. He now is going to convert that to another creative finance strategy. Does that make sense what a dating contract is? Another strategy I made up. About 7-8 years ago, I made this up on the fly on a deal. And there's still more strategies that are going to be built up and made up. There's strategies like I've got a seller right now that I'm buying his business or buying his LLC and taking over all the assets inside of the LLC. That's another creative strategy. I'll bring up a bunch of fun creative strategies today. We'll hang out long. What I'm probably going to do is like in 30 minutes, I'm going to show you guys how to get into my office and I'm going to see if I can select like 25 people and then I'll go long today. Why am I going long today, by the way? My kids are at a baptism. My wife took them to this baptism and it's like a kid's baptism that I don't know. It's like one of their friends. And so I'm here teaching you guys today. So you guys got freaking lucky that I have like a Saturday without my wife and my kids until like 2 o'clock. So I got a couple hours. Okay, so that's a dating contract. Where does this actually show up? Well, here's where it shows up. Let's pull up one of my properties and I'll show you guys a dating contract that I'm still in the middle of a dating contract. There's other situations that you'll end up doing a dating contract on. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to gloat a little bit. I'm going to show you guys my property I own. And I took photos of this actually just a couple of weeks ago. This is February 13th. I was up in Montana at my house in Tana. And I'm going to go through my photos. I went through my property and I was just taking photos as I was leaving because we're getting ready to furnish this property this summer. So this property, it's, let me break it down for you before I show you the photos. How about that? I'll break down the numbers and then you guys can see how easy it is you can get into a personal home you want to live in. A common question, by the way. Can I buy a house for myself? Yes. I live in every house I live in, all my first home, my second home, every house I've ever bought has been a creative finance house. Okay. A lot of my students, thousands of them live in creative finance houses. No cash, no credit, move in. Sometimes sellers pay them to buy the house, etc. So this particular house is in Kalispell, Montana. I live there in the summer times with my kids. I have friends that live up there in the summertime. Arizona gets 125 degrees sometimes in the summertime. I don't want to live in Arizona. I now make enough money and I have a big enough team that I can have a summer home, which is nice. Okay, cool. So this property, seller's name is Bob. Yes, that's his real name. Bob built the property in 2022 and he finished building it in 2023. And what happened is, he finished building in 2021. 2021, he finished building it. He lived in it until 2022. He is a builder. He went off and he built another house. Here's what happened. He built this house. You'll see why he fell in love with it. But he built this house originally as a spec build to sell it. His wife fell in love with it, so they lived in it until 2022. He then went out and he built another spec house, okay, about 20 minutes down the road in Whitefish. He lived in this property. When he finished this property, it was 2023. And what happened in 2023 is all of his buyers for this house is a $7 million house, by the way, that he went out and built. They could not get interest rates less than 6.5%. So this property right here was not selling. So his second property, we following me? His second property was not selling. This is where his pain came from. We understand? Give me a yes. Do you guys understand this? Okay, very cool. And so what ended up happening is he told his wife, hey, sweetheart, we need to move into this other house. I need to refinance it because I have construction debt on it and they will not refinance this property unless we live in it. Okay. So he had to move out of this property in Kalispell. Guess what? Yeah, Dan Price says, I've seen your YouTube video on this. Yes. Yeah, Elisa says, ouch. A lot of the situations I buy houses on are ouch situations, okay? So what happened is this house that I bought it with a 2.9% interest rate. The seller was trying to sell it for 3.9 million on the market and it couldn't sell on the market. So where did I find this? I found this on the MLS. It's right there on the MLS. He was like 140 days on the market and I offered him a sub 2 transaction, which means subject to, which means, hey, Bob, I'll pay you the he listed it for 3.7 or 3.9. He couldn't get 3.9. So he was at 3.7 by the time I came along. So I said, hey, Bob, I'll buy your house for 3.7, but I want to take over your existing payment. And his existing payment on this property is like $9,000 a month. And it's a 2.9% interest rate. And it's on the house is 11,000. I'm sorry, my bad. It's 8,000 square feet house, 4,000 square foot brand new barn, and 20 acres in Kalispell, Montana. And he says to me, I don't like sub 2 because I don't trust you. I don't know you. I don't trust you. And I said, okay, well, why don't we do a dating contract where I do want to own it sub 2. I want the deed in my name, but why don't we just do a lease option for 2 years? My 2 years is now up. Actually, this month, I'm going to convert this to sub 2 now. We'll do a lease option. He goes, okay, lease option. I like that. I said, all my $9,000 monthly payments that I make need to go towards the bank balance. So it all counts towards the purchase. And I ended up doing this deal for a $1 down payment. I gave him a $1 down payment that I actually never gave him the $1. So in the contract, it says $1 down payment. I gave him no money, never wired him $1. The wire would cost more money than the dollar, but just to make the contract legit in his attorney's eyes, we did a $1 down payment. So that is a dating contract. He didn't trust me. He's like, this is a big house, a big property. I go, let's do a lease option for 2 years. And then if I do what I say I'm going to do, we'll convert it to a sub 2 deal. So that's a dating contract. A dating contract can consist of a lease option to a seller finance, a lease option to a novation, a lease. Basically, I'm dating him in the lease with my option to buy in a different strategy. It's a lease option and it's a dating contract. So this is the property right here. We just got a new patio. Here's my office. We haven't even decorated anything yet. You can see that like, I'm just taking photos of the house because I'm getting ready to furnish it for the summertime. There's my RV, the one that we're on the nationwide tour. Nice big barn. Looking at the landscape, it's just saying I hate the landscape. It's okay. It just needs more trees and more flowers and stuff like that. This is my bathroom in the barn. That's a barn bathroom, by the way. Here's my barn, my nice little John Deere tractor. Also, guess what I bought? How do you think I bought this John Deere tractor? 0 down, 0% seller finance. I literally got 0 down, 0% seller finance on my tractor. I got my tractor, my plane this way, my Escalades this way. Everything you want, you can buy with Creative Finance. Okay, so that's a dating contract. Now, let's talk about a couple of other deals. Let's go. I'm going to go through one more seller finance deal just to keep you guys really clear on why this is such a cool opportunity and help you guys understand where a lot of these deals will come from as well. Okay. How many people are like, I want to leave, but Pace keeps saying he's weeding people out, so I don't want to leave. How many people are like, they're like, dang, Pace keeps saying he's weeding people out. Okay. Very cool. More, please. Cool. Let's keep going. Let's keep cranking. Have I gotten into some critical stuff, some helpful things? Kyle missed out, didn't he? He couldn't even hang out for 22 minutes in the very beginning. Guys, welcome to life. Welcome to like literally everybody you're going to meet. Is like 90% of people can't even pay attention for a couple of hours. Okay. And then those people will never, like, they'll be pissed off at me. They'll leave and they'll be like, gosh, dang you, Pace, you suck. They'll never want to talk to me ever again. That's okay. There's billions of people in the world. I don't need the Kyles. There's billions of people in the world. I need the people that are dead serious and understand how important this actually is. Okay. So I got a property on Morton. It's one of my favorite deals I own. And it kind of goes through like management questions. It goes through like, why would you overpay for a property? Sometimes people will criticize me online. They'll be like, oh, Pace buys properties with no equity. Let's see here. Let's go to, I think it's Morton. I hope my team never sells this deal. It's one of my favorite deals. And I also could be spelling it wrong. Morton might be M-O-R-T-E-N. M-O-R-T-E-N. Oh, I could ask my AI bot. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so Morton is a property that I bought full asking price for. And as you guys can see, here, let's go through. I want to show you guys something kind of cool. If you guys want a screenshot of this, you guys can see how many properties I own. This is kind of helpful. This is just my team sending me stuff like this. Like I own a lot of properties, guys, a lot of properties. I would prefer, I'm slowly selling a lot of my single family properties and going down to owning a lot more larger properties. I'm selling the single family ones and moving into bigger ones, but I own lots, like hundreds. I could scroll through on this one. I own a lot of properties. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, not one of these properties was purchased with a bank. Not one of these properties required my credit. Not one of these properties required money out of my own pocket. And if I did need a down payment, I usually got it from using a Morby method or something else. Oh my gosh, I'm like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Holy shiz, that's a lot. Okay, ooh, check this out. I'll just show, you know what? I'm not trying to brag. I actually think if you are learning from me, you probably want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Check this out. Tell me I own a lot of properties. Like, holy moly. Let's just keep scrolling and 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 scrolling. There you go. Most of these were actually brought to me by people that I partner with, right? This is why I partner with people. I have thousands of deals, thousands of doors in my portfolio, and I get to partner with people, which is really, really fun. Morton. Okay, 2546 West Morton. You get so many properties, you don't even know the addresses, but this is a good story. 2546 West Morton Avenue. This actually came to me from a student. This is one of my favorite deals I've ever done because of the way I felt when I first walked up to the property. And it just like shocked me. And I also forget that I own this. I don't ever bring it up in stories. And you're going to see, ooh, this is a new updated photo of the property. Cool. This is so fun, guys. I love talking about this. I love talking about the good days. I'll show you guys some stuff I have under contract right now today too. All right, so if there's a van in the driveway and then like another van in the driveway, okay, like multiple vans in the driveway, what do you think this property is? What do you think this property is? Multiple vans in the driveway. COC. So remember, COC, continuation of care. This is a sober living house. Okay, so 2546 West Morton Avenue. This deal came from a student of mine. She teed up an appointment for me. Okay, student of mine came up with an appointment. It's all she had to do. She came to my office. In the office, she was one of the first students that was ever invited to my office. She comes to my office. She goes, I have this seller that wants too much money. I'm like, those are the best. I love sellers that want too much money. Why? Because the way I structured this deal is this seller on 2546, I went out and actually met with this seller. A lot of our leaders will meet with your guys' sellers if you guys get selected to come to our office. 2546 West Morton. By the way, will my students all over the country, will my students go on your appointments, okay, in any part of the country, Canada, Puerto Rico? Will my students do that? Do we have enough students that can help you out? Yes or no? Okay, so if you came to my office and then went back to your home, would you be able to have the localized help in every single city? Yes or no? Okay, very, very cool. I want you to make sure you guys understand that, even though I'm talking about an Arizona deal right now, okay? Awesome. So 2546 West Morton, the girl's name, her name is Hayel. Hayel comes in, brings this deal to me. Not under contract. She just had a seller that wanted too much money. She found this on Zillow. Seller was on the market for like 340 days. She calls the agent. The agent says, I got fired. I don't work for that seller anymore. So Hayel learned how to call sellers. She then sets up an appointment for me. I then call the seller in my office so Hayel can see this. I then drove 2.5 hours to go meet with the seller. Why? Because the seller's an older lady and gentleman up in a city called Payson, Arizona. This is what I'm talking about with what you need. Tell me, is ChatGPT going to ever do that for you? Are you guys ever going to get that level of help from ChatGPT? Are you guys ever going to get a YouTube video to give you that level of help? That's what our community does. So once you join Sub2, you have that network of 30,000 people all over the globe, 29 countries, even in Israel. I'm helping a student in Zimbabwe right now. Literally, we have like 14 students in Zimbabwe. First seller finance deal that's being done in Zimbabwe is going to close next week. So does this work everywhere? Yes. Okay. Puerto Rico, I was just there. Pedro is our leader there, one of our leaders there. Okay. Awesome. So here's what happens. I drove 2.5 hours to a city named Payson. I sit down with the seller. Seller wanted $600,000. This is going to scare some people for a house that was only worth $565,000. And I paid $600,000 for a house that's only worth $565,000. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I pay $600,000 for a $565,000 house? Why would I do that? Terms. Let me ask you guys a question. This is where like knuckleheads that do traditional transaction. Think about this. If the house is worth $565,000 and I am one of those idiots that go use the BRRRR strategy where you go use banks, it's dumb, stupidest strategy ever. I got to go put 30% down payment with a bank and I got to go get I think rates right now are 5.8%. So I go put how many people have 30% down payment? Anybody have 30% down payment for this for one stupid rental? Are you freaking kidding me? It's the dumbest thing on the planet. Okay, so $565,000 is what it's worth. You got to go put 30% down or 20% down with a 5.8% rate. That sounds stupid. Also, you have to have good credit. Okay, you also have to have a good job. You have to have all these things. Traditional real estate's stupid. It's so stupid. It's a waste of your freaking time. Okay, so What I did is I went in and I go, seller wanted 600,000. Nobody was willing to give her 600,000. I said, hey, if you do no money down and you give me 0 interest, I'll close next week. My student, Hayel, I paid her $40,000 for this deal, finding this deal for me. Why did I give her 40 grand on this deal? Why would I give her 40 grand on this deal? I'll tell you why. Because what you don't see from the front of this property is what I also did not know when I bought the property. It would have been a good deal even if I didn't find this, but look how many houses there are on the property. I got 2 full houses for 600 grand at 0 down, 0% interest. And what do? So I told Hayel, I said, hey, it's a zero down, 0% interest deal. But because I was going to give her 20 grand for that. I was going to give her 20 grand for that. Then I found out there was a second house. I go, dude, I owe you another 20 grand. So I gave her 40 grand for literally setting up an appointment for me. Again, guys, that position, what I would call that is the Robin position, right? You are playing that Robin character. How many people are like, I could do that? I freaking could do that. Okay, cool. So Hayel in my office, in person, spent a week with me, doing deals with me. Robin is the same person. This is over and over and over. This is what we do. Okay, now what am I doing with that property? I went to a COC operator, continuation of care, like an Oxford House, and I rented both houses to them. That property nets me in my pocket about $4,000 every single month, and my payment to the seller is 0% interest. That's seller finance. Yeah, of course, Robin can be an agent. I'd say 40% of my students are licensed real estate agent. You just need to understand you don't need to be a licensed agent. Do we understand that? Can you be a licensed agent? Yes. I'm flying to Cabo, Mexico next week to meet with the CEO of EXP. I'm friends with all the big wigs inside of all the big brokerages. Agents should be using these strategies. Agents should be using these strategies. But how much is your payment to the seller? My payment to the seller is like $2,700. And I don't know, I'd have to dig it up, but it's probably somewhere around $2,700. And then my income from both those properties is $4,000 each. So I bring in 8 grand, pay the seller $2,700, and then I got taxes and insurance. So I net about 4 grand a month on that one deal. So 50 grand a year on one deal. Not bad. And in some ways, you could even argue that Hayel was underpaid based on what I get out of the deal. But why was Hayel overpaid, in my opinion, is because all she had to do was set up an appointment for me to get me in front of that seller. Do we agree? Okay. So yes, when you guys become the Adam, the person who's buying the deals, yes, you get a lot more value in the community by turning around and becoming a leader. But what's great is that we're helping the Robins of the world get their first deal, their second deal, their third deal, getting that momentum going, proof of concept, paradigm shift, money in their bank. And then a lot of, now Hayel owns her own business now and I haven't done a deal with Hayel in probably 2 years, but Hayel's doing deals with other people in the community. She's not doing it for a mere 40 grand anymore. She's owning the properties and she's doing her own sober living, right? That's what this is all about, right? Wholesaling is illegal in South Carolina, Rob says, okay? Rob, let's talk about this. You guys that even pay attention to like what people make legal or illegal do not understand enough about real estate. So Rob Bohart, I love that you brought this up. Let's chat for just a second. Then I'm gonna for the people that want to come into my office, I'm gonna invite you guys to my office. Rob, what's up, brother? How you doing? Rob Bohart. Is that crap? How do I unmute? What Rob brought up, hopefully he can figure out how to unmute. Oh, there he is. Rob, what's up?
GB.
So Rob, if I want to wholesale in South Carolina, how can I wholesale in South Carolina legally?
Use a real estate agent.
No, I don't need to use a real estate agent. Couldn't I just double close a transaction?
Explain.
Do you know what a double close is? Is that what you're saying? You don't know what a double close is?
Correct.
Okay. So
I don't.
Okay, no problem. So I just want you to pull up. Guys, a lot of times you guys will hear these stupid headlines out there like wholesale is illegal in South Carolina. It's like, Real estate investors will always pivot to a different strategy that will always get the same end result. Okay, so what does double close mean? And this is so off topic, but I want to point something out to you guys. Let's say that sub 2 became illegal, or seller finance. That's crazy if it ever became illegal, but let's say it did. You guys want to know how long seller finance has been around, by the way? This is one of the first seller finance notes that's ever been on record right here. Okay. Original parchment, April 16th, 1764, Revolutionary War officer Thomas Tash buys land in New Hampshire from Rebecca Adams, widow executor of the deceased testament of Samuel Adams. Gives me chills to think I even have this in my house. One of my students bought a house, a flip, and it had this parchment in there, and it is verified right here, verified that it's real. 400 years ago, guys, seller finance was being done. She seller financed 160 acres that her and Sam Adams owned together. She couldn't handle it anymore, so she seller financed it to Mr. Tash, and she got a monthly payment, cash. She got chickens, cows, goats, and everything else in form of payment. Seller finance has been around for 500 years. It'll never go away. But let's say that wholesale becomes illegal, right? As wholesale is regulated, it will be. And I hope that they regulate wholesale even more, because what it does is it weeds out the bad people. Okay, so what is wholesale essentially? Wholesale is where you have a seller, Mr. Rob, and a lot of wholesalers will lie. Okay, they'll say, I'm a cash buyer. This is actually where the problem comes from, is wholesalers will lie to the seller and say, I'm a cash buyer. And are they actually a cash buyer, Mr. Bohart?
No.
No, they're not. They're lying. I teach my students to wholesale, but do it properly, and tell the seller, hey, I'm not a buyer, but I'm finding deals from my buyer, right? Just honest wholesaling. And what happens here is that this seller and this cash buyer, this wholesaler, let's just call them a wholesaler, what they are, they get under contract for, let's say, $100,000. And then this wholesaler goes out and finds an actual buyer and assigns this contract for $125,000. And this person makes $25,000 without ever buying the property, coming up with any money, etc. And essentially what they did is they defrauded and lied to that seller, telling them that they were a buyer. That's what people hate about wholesaling. Is it illegal in 40 states across the country? No, this is perfectly legal. It's even legal in Arizona. The only difference in Arizona is that you have to tell your seller that you intend to wholesale it. Okay, cool. So in South Carolina, all the big wholesalers stopped wholesaling. And what they did is they started pivoting to what is called the takedown method. Okay, takedown method. Okay, here's the difference. I can still go and tell the seller, hey, seller, I want to buy your property. In this scenario, you can actually tell the truth and say, I am a cash buyer, because a double close is where your buyer buys the property from you 15 minutes after you closed on it. So what happens is you become a legitimate buyer using hard money loans or a partner. They close that first transaction. There's actually a recording number. It hits the recorder's office showing that you actually did own that property. And then the title company immediately turns around and sells it to this next buyer. That next buyer, their money comes in, wipes out the hard money loan that you just got, and you walk away with the difference. Is it a little bit more expensive? Yes, but wholesaling is alive and well in South Carolina. I just spoke at a wholesaling conference like 3 months ago in South Carolina. It is very alive and well. The only difference for the old wholesalers is the people that are operating out of their mom's basement that don't know how to get the funding for the takedown method. Those people have moved to other states and actually made it way better for the good operators that know what they're doing and are actually well capitalized. Doesn't mean they have money. It means they have access to money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so can I still do the act of wholesaling and effectively make the same amount of money as I did before the regulation?
No, you have to pay for hard money lending.
Well, your buyer does, yeah. Do you want to know who actually pays
Okay.
for it in the long run? Is the seller. Because what's happening is now the wholesaler that's going into the seller's house is like, I have to buy this $7,000 lower than I would have because I have to pay for fees and closing costs to sell that deal. And so really it's coming out of the seller's pocket. The average assignment fee has stayed exactly the same in the last 2 years as South Carolina has regulated. It's just coming out of the seller's pocket. So the regulators have actually hurt the homeowner, not the wholesaler and not the buyer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There you go. So you guys will run into this, is that you guys will watch the salacious. Remember, headlines are meant to get your eyeballs and waste your time because they want you to see advertising and all that kind of stuff. It's interesting that somebody that tells you, oh my gosh, wholesaling is outlawed, they don't tell you the solution, right? There's always a solution. There's no way that you can't not do a deal, if that makes sense. Cool. We've lost 200 people here today, and I'm grateful for it. Are you guys all hanging out with me? You guys are still cool to be here for like an hour and a half or 2 hours with me? How many people are hanging out with me? Are we grateful for the 200 people that we knew were never going to do a deal in the first place? If they couldn't hang out, they weren't going to do a deal. They weren't going to even pick up the phone. They weren't never even sell a freaking, they were never going to even like send me an appointment. You can't hang out for a couple of hours for me to teach you how to set an appointment. You ain't going to happen. Okay. Cool. Man, this has been, what time did I start? 10? I've been on here for 3 hours. Good. Heck yeah. All right. So for those of you guys that want to be invited to my office, we do this thing that here's what I learned. And we're going to jump into this. And then after I invite people to my office, there is a cost. Okay. I want you guys to know there's a cost to coming to my office and joining the community. I told you that at the beginning. I told you an hour, told you all that kind of stuff. But for those of you guys that want to stick around, I'm going to do a bunch of Q&A. Until my kids get home, I'll keep doing Q&A. I'm in a mood today. I'm in a teaching mood and I'm ready to roll. Okay. So somebody says, send me the appointment. Please set me an appointment to your office. Love it. How many people are going to stick around? You want to see how to get in my office? Give me a yes in the side chat. Yes, we love mobile home parks. Yes, guys, we covered that. You showed up late. I own 6 mobile home parks. They're great. What the next office environment is going to be about RV parks. So if you guys are trying to get into my office around RV parks, we're going to focus an entire week on RV parks. This is the last RV park in-person training I will do for 2026. Then we're going to jump on to the next time we do a live training in my office will be mobile home park. So if RV parks are the thing that you want to learn, this is the office invite you want. And I'm only inviting 25 people from today. That's it. So we got 1,700 people on here. What's the difference between a mobile home park and an RV park? I'll talk about that. How about this? I'll stick around for an hour after I present the opportunity to get in my office, and I'll answer any question you guys have. I'll let you guys raise your hand and we'll go through a bunch of Q&A. Cool? Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm going to pause the side chat. Nicole Miller says, I emailed you 6 parks yesterday. Nicole, I'm going to look at my email. I don't have one email from you. Not one. I'm so good about my email. I have an RV park from Sean Hobbs, one of my new students that I'm buying. I've got somebody named Tia Biotics Kombucha. I don't know what even Ed and Liz Bledsoe, new students of mine. They just joined in 2025, an RV park they sent me. And then I have another one named gentleman named Terry that sent me an RV park this morning. That's all the emails I have. So I don't have an email from you. It's probably because you have my team's email, not my email. All right. Let's go into this. By the way, I will not do a deal with somebody outside of my community. So if you're outside my community, keep doing deals in the free Facebook group, keep working on the freebie stuff. I will not do a deal outside of people that do not come to my office. I want to meet you in person. I want to make sure you do this the right way. I want to do a live and active deals with you, which is why we started what I'm going to talk about. Okay. We have something we call the No One Left Behind Challenge. And the No One Left Behind Challenge is, let's go through. Let's make sure I got the right one. Okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome. So for those of you guys who want to understand this, I know you guys have stayed with me for 3 hours. If you guys are showing up late, you missed a lot. And I'm sorry, we're not going to do a replay today. I don't like replays. I think that you should just show up on time for the things that you say you want to be a part of, but that's okay. That's just me. Okay. But what I want to do is I'm going to talk about how and why I invite people to my office. Even though we've covered it, I'm going to talk about it for about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to present the opportunity to you and show you guys what it looks like. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. For me, I was a contractor for a long time. And when I was a contractor, I wish I had somebody help me. And that person did come in and help me. Her name is Bethany. We talked about that for a good amount of time. We're not going to go deep here on it here. But I came up with a really good idea of how to extend and branch out and expand what Bethany did for me. And it was a really big problem in the industry, is that everybody was just doing coaching and mentorships and nobody was really getting partnership opportunity. And so this good idea that I have came from a big problem that the industry has. In fact, there's probably a lot of you guys in here that have paid for coaching and mentorship that didn't get what you thought you needed. And you're no further along than before you ever invested that money. Okay. And so for me, I grew up in community. I have 12 kids in my family. 12 kids in my family, same mom, same dad, no adopted kids. My mom birthed 12 children. My mom had 4 miscarriages. They really wanted to have a community. My parents really wanted to have an amazing little family. Look how freaking brown I was. You can tell we're Arizona kids. We just out in the sun cooking all day long. And this is how I grew up. Grew up with a happy, healthy family. Got baptized at 8 years old. There I am on the far left. Yes, I kind of had blonde hair at the time. Always wanted to be a baseball, not a baseball, but like business kid. You look at me in the center there. And there's my mom in the lower right, just loving on me. I grew up in a great family. I got the cheat code. A lot of people don't have this cheat code. The cheat code I got is the foundation of family, faith, and understanding my purpose here on this earth. And this is my purpose on this earth, is raising these beautiful children, making sure they're happy, healthy, and actually provide value to society. There's my little girl Corbin in the middle with 2 rainbows, double rainbow. That's my farm in Montana that I bought for $1 down payment. And just so grateful for my awesome life that I have. So this all started with me. This is Bethany, the lady in the rose-colored blouse. This lady is the person that helped me not get my first deal, but also helped me do my first 70-plus deals. She was incredible. She changed my life. And she went off and retired. This is her speaking at one of my events in 2024, coming back out of retirement to come speak and just say, I had no idea that this kid that I was helping at the time of age 30 was going to go out and change the world. And now she's a part of my community. She texts me all the time. Hey, I need connection here. I need a connection here. I have a house I'm selling here, and I'm offloading my portfolio and this, that, and the other. This is Bethany. She held my hand. She went on appointments with me. She loved on me. She changed my life. And this is what happened after I got my first deal, my friends. I started going on appointments, and I was doing this all on my own, changing people's lives, talking about it on social media. I was so proud of what I was doing. It's back in 2015, 16, 17. And what ended up happening is, as I talked about this on social media, I got a lot of people that would reach out and go, will you go on my appointment with me? I've been trying to get my first deal for 5 years and I just can't get it done. And so as these people reached out to me, I traveled around the country on my dime to just change their lives. And this is Jimmy Au, actually in the lower right-hand corner. This is the first sub-2 deal I ever helped somebody get. Was right here in Dallas, Texas. That was the first deal I ever helped somebody else get their first deal. Man, it was like heroin. This is the greatest feeling ever. I don't know what heroin feels like, but I imagine it feels like that. And Ty on the left-hand side, we door knocked, which I don't teach a lot of people to door knock now, but he wanted a door knock, so I taught him how to door knock. And this started growing, like compounding, like crazy. People just kept reaching out. Atlanta, Arizona, California, Michigan. It got out of control. Here I am in Atlanta. Gino Palumba, the guy with the gold chain, kind of in the center right over there. That guy makes about $2 million a year virtually. He now lives in Italy, married his wife, joined Sub2 5 years ago. This is what I got to do for years. I just got to go change people's lives. And it got so big that I realized I had to keep sharing it on YouTube. So I kept growing my YouTube channel. This is a seller right here. Her name is Carol. I helped her out of foreclosure, saved her house. I still own that house to this day. It's on Des Moines Street in Mesa, Arizona. And I started sharing my knowledge for free. And it got big. This got really, 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 really big. And I started realizing as I was talking to people about their success, right, from my YouTube channel, it was interesting to see so many people going, I watch your channel. I watch your channel. Even we got a TV show on A&E. And it was like 1% of people were even having success. And I'm like, man, I'm recording seller calls. I'm showing the inner workings. I'm showing how paperwork's filled out. It's like information, information, information. And I actually had a lot of people criticizing me saying, why are you giving it all away? Nobody does anything with any of the information they have. They need a partner. They need a real partner that's going to back them up and do the deals with them. I was like, I don't know. I'm just trying to help the world, right? This goes on for years. And then I meet somebody that used to work at the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. This is a government body that actually like manages and tracks people's results from online mentorships. And this person gave me these stats. Okay. These stats were the success rates of people that are on YouTube is 0.01%. I thought it was literally 100 times bigger than that, which was 1%. I thought it was 1% success rate on YouTube. It's 0.01%, which means 10,000 views on a YouTube video, only one person will ever do anything with those 10,000 views. Then online courses, 1.2% success rate. And then when people pay for like a mentorship, it's a 6% success rate, which highly successful. I'm big fans of, I'm a good friend with Grant Cardone. I'm friends with Alex Hormozi. I'm not friends with Jordan Peterson, but we've paid him to speak at our events. He's incredible. But the success rate is 6%, meaning 6% of people will actually go do something and make money with the thing they learn. 6%, which is like 6 times more. And that's a mentorship, right? It's more, a little bit more hands-on. And so for me, as more and more people put demand on me for teaching them or helping them along the way, I realized I didn't want to build anything like that. I wanted to build something completely different. I wanted to build something that emulated my experience with Bethany. I wanted people to be like, gosh, dang, man, like not only do I have the resources, I actually have the people that will walk me through it. And so I built something different. I didn't build a course. I didn't build an online coaching program or a mentorship. I built a community, and it was the first community ever built. In fact, I had Alex Hormozi back in 2021 text me and go, holy crap, man, you figured it out. Like you're building community, not coaching, not mentorship. You built community where a new person helps bring a deal to somebody who's more seasoned. That seasoned person gets paid. Like this is crazy. And I'm like, I'm not really trying to build a community, Alex. I'm trying to build an economy where we all do deals with each other. We all rely on helping each other. We make a lot of money in the process. And so I launched Sub2 in 2020. And that community now has welcomed in Sub2, 17,000 people are in our community. Over 13,000 of those people have gotten their first deal. And you might ask, well, why did you not help the other 4,000 people? Well, those people had already done their first deal. I can't claim that those other 4,000 people, like actually right here, Anthony Fleming, I can see with the sunglasses, this green hat, never brought him up. I could name all these people. Caroline Kane, I was with her yesterday. She's got $1 million deal she's working on. Carly Grunman, she actually runs the back end office. She's done hundreds of deals. Rachel Barnes actually getting her first deal this week, which is awesome. But Nita Patel right here, this really nice looking, sweet, happy looking Indian girl in the front or in the middle. She does probably 10 deals a month in Chicago. I could just go through and talk about all these people in our community, but right here, Anthony Fleming had probably already done 50 deals before he joined Sub2. Susie Casper's right here. She's raising $100 million for, what do you call them? Data centers. So I can't take credit for all of this, but we've helped 13,000 people get their first deal. And those 13,000 people just with their first deal equals $10 billion in transactions. And in fact, I love meeting them so much that I actively am on a Creative Nation tour. I've been going around the country. Some of you guys that are just new to me don't know about this, but I started in Hawaii in October, then went to all of these other states. I went to 96 cities in the last 120 days. These are all of our leaders all over the country. No matter where you are, we have leaders and people doing deals everywhere, 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 everywhere. Every single city that you go to, you'll have 300 or 400 members actively doing deals with each other. It does not matter where you go. And Miami was not, man, that was crazy. But here's the stat I'm the most proud of. The stat I'm the most proud of is that we are trending towards a 100% success rate. And the reason for that is because I built something called the No One Left Behind Challenge. I made it so everybody that joins our community is basically required to come spend a week with me. Way back when, I used to not do this, but we were trending at like 83% success rate. And I was like, I'm not happy with that. I don't want 83% of people to be successful. I want 100%, 110%, 200%. And so I came up with something called the No One Left Behind Challenge, which means you come into my office and instead of just getting a bunch of information, you're actually actively doing deals. Some of you guys might have seen me doing this online, and sometimes I'll live stream the live students in my office. And every month is a different topic. And once you come into the office for a week, you are now initiated into the community. You're now in the community for the rest of your life. And what I realize is that if I can get you in my office in person where I can show you how to set appointments, you set appointments for me, Jamil, and other leaders live, you now can go back home with the skill of setting appointments. You also saw a live deal get done. You got paid or got on a contract with a real live deal that week. And then at the end of the week, we pair you up with our leaders nationwide. So when you go home, you don't just have access to the community for the rest of your life, you have access to a legitimate buyer, and you've already done a deal by the time you go home. And so because of that strategy, our stat is nearing 100% success rate because of that. So our community is leading the industry. And what I mean by that specifically is that we have community members buying up so many RV parks that we are nearing a 7% of the entire RV park industry this year already. And by 2030, our community will own 25 to 30% of every RV park in the country. This is the same thing with multifamily. It's the same thing with single family and co-living. You guys go to patsplit.com, 80% of those houses are sub 2 members. So when I say we're leading the industry, I mean it. Doesn't matter what niche inside of the real estate industry, we are dominating. And it's because of how much we help each other out. And it's because the launching pad of coming into my office in person and having that smaller feel and being one of those 25 people that actually can be in the office during that time frame, it's magical. But here's the reality. There's still thousands of people that still haven't done their first deal and want to get their first RV park. And so for those of you guys that are hanging out with me right now, show me in the side chat, how many people are wanting to get into my office and you want to get your first RV park? You want to partner with me on an RV park? Give me a me in the side chat. Cool. Now, of course, I'm going to invite you guys here in a little bit, show you guys what that looks like, et cetera. And then I'll wrap up the invitation. We'll go to Q&A. So for those of you guys that are the freebies that just like free information, I got more freebie stuff for you towards the end, okay? But we're only going to let 25 people into the office today. And the reason being is because we've already allowed previous members to fill up a lot of the other spots, okay? We can only let about 100 people into our office at a time. And we already let in about 125 people. And so we can only bring in another 25, okay? For those of you guys that want to get your first RV park, this is a good fit for you because you'll be in my office in person. We'll do deals live with each other. And this is what it looks like. It's you with the entire community. People are similar to me. They're holding you up, giving you all the access to the things that you need through live hand holding instead of just going, go watch this video, go watch this video, go watch this online training. Of course, I have online training, but I really want in-person partnership is what I'm really looking for. And here is what it looks like. It's a 1-week intensive. It's expert training with me and my team, full hands-on experience. We will be doing live deals. In fact, after I present the opportunity and invite you guys, I will break down a couple of deals I'm actively in the middle of because of the No One Left Behind Challenge. Bird Dogs brought me and some leaders a handful of really good parks. I'm going to break down the deals here in a couple of, probably about 30 minutes. I'll break down the deals. I'll talk a lot more about RV parks in the Q&A than I probably will anything else because I'm just obsessed with them right now. Now, I'm going to break this down for you, but I want to be very clear here. Some people that have gotten into my office came in, did 4 deals in a week, their first 4 deals. They leave and they're sitting here going, this lady, this is about 5 months ago. We came in and we were doing a co-living challenge. She came into the office. She spent a whole week with me. And at the end of the week, she comes up to me and she says, Pace, I'm so grateful that I was in your community. I was like, was? What do you mean was in the community? She's like, well, you know, I've been here. I got my week. This has been incredible. Like this investment, I got 4 deals. This is so crazy. Da, da, da. And I'm like, do you think like once you go home after this week with me in office and the deals that you've done, you think that you're out of the community? This is actually the initiation. And I had to actually go to a whiteboard and show her the same thing I'm showing you guys right now. If you guys come into my office, this office experience is 1 week long. We're going to be doing deals live. Your experience in the community will go the rest of your life. Live events, live trainings, more opportunities to come back to the office, all sorts of amazing things with no yearly expense, no monthly expense, no upsells, none of that stuff. The only thing I require of you to stay in this community, please pay attention. This is very important. For me to allow you to stay in this community, you need to turn around and pass the torch to some of the new people. You need to become the Adam, and you need to upgrade from being Robin and upgrade to Adam. Do you guys understand why I require people to do that? And is that something that you're willing to do? I don't want you coming in here, getting an RV park, and then not wanting to turn around and help the next person. My job is to build a community that helps people nationwide. Okay? And if you're one of those people that's like, nope, I just want the week, I want to do a deal with you, and then I'm out. Please, I don't want you. I don't want you to be a part of my community. And so I need you to understand why this is so critical and so important to me. Okay? Give me a yes, you guys understand this. Cool. Very, very cool. All right. So as I continue to go through this, I need you to understand that this 1 week is more of an initiation into the community. You get the live experience. We do live deals together. You get to meet my team and all the people that run the community. You get to be paired up with a quality buyer. And then what happens, and you've done deals, right? You've done deals. You then get paired up with a buyer. So when you go home, you have the resources you need. You have your own Bethany, you have your own Pace, and then I'll see you 10 times a year for the rest of your freaking life. Okay. If you've ever been around me, around my community at any of our meetups, you'll go, Pace remembers everybody. Well, yeah, because I'm doing deals with them. I send out 700 checks a month to people I've done deals with just in the last 24 months. So for those of you guys that are going to be able to get into the office, I want you to understand this is an initiation to make sure that our community is sticking around that 100% success rate. Okay. So we will be doing live deals. It's a 1 week intensive. It's usually all day. And of course, we're going to give you training. We're going to give you hands-on experience. We're going to give you the network. But my goal at the end of the day, I want you to remember, is that Pace wants partners. I want partners. I want people to come in and partner with me on deals. Okay. And all you need to do is show up and engage, help set appointments, watch how it works, stick around. And this is what it looks like. Every single month, I get to do this with this group looks like about 60 people. Everybody comes in, gets to throw up their first contract, participate in their first deal, life-changing experience. And by the way, if you guys join sub 2, and this is why a lot of the spots get filled, okay? Watch this in the side chat. Who in here has joined sub 2 but has not got this experience? Give me a me. Okay. All of you guys that are saying me right now, I want all of you guys to email support@sub2.com. I want to make sure all of you guys get this opportunity. Can I get a thank you in the side chat? It's a bonus. This is not the sub 2 community. It's a bonus. Can I get a thank you? Email the team. This is why the spots get filled up so much, is because people that joined 2 years ago and done 50 deals they didn't get this bonus. This is a new thing that I've brought around. Okay. So email support@sub2.com if you are already in the sub 2 community. I want to make sure you guys are in the office in person. Okay. Cool. Kristen says, never heard of it until the ad yesterday. No problem. Easy. But there's a lot of people already in my community that are actively doing deals, but have never spent a week with me in my office. So I want to make sure that's the case. I want to make sure I have an opportunity with you guys. Okay. So this opportunity, I know I spent $135,000 with Bethany for this, but this for you is a week in person. This is what it looks like. This is my office. We've upgraded the office since then. This photo has been a couple of months, but this is not for you. I already covered this. If you are not community driven, if all you want to do is come in and do one deal and not help the next people in 6 months or next people that join a year from now doing the RV park stuff, I will not do another RV park live training in my office in 2026. This will be the last one. So next year, my role for you is to make sure you're a buyer next year. You're going to be Adam rather than Robin next year. And if you're not community driven, then you're not going to come to the office and get paired up. I need you to get paired up with people. Okay. And if you've been in the business so long, you're not willing to learn new ways and creative finance, I'm not about it. And if you're not willing to work hard, I don't want you there. This is why we went from 1,950 people down into the 1,600s today, is because people can't even hang out for 3.5 hours. Thank goodness, because it proves to you there is no competition in the world. But if you're not willing to work hard and pay attention, I don't want you in my office. I don't want to be dragging you. I don't have time for that. Okay. 91% of the spots are filled. Why is that? Well, because we have existing members that are like, oh my gosh, I did all my first deals in co-living, but now Pace is doing an RV park challenge. If you are a sub 2 member and you've already joined, you've already invested into joining sub 2, will you ever have to pay a second time to come into my office? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. I will continue to pour into you for the rest of your life, and I will make sure that existing sub 2 members get the first couple of spots. And so that's why a lot of our spots get filled up so fast, is because members that have already done 50 deals in co-living or Section 8 or whatever go, oh my gosh, Pace is now doing live training in his office for RV parks. You, my friends, are lucky. You get to come back into the office. And so for those of you guys that are joining today, you'll ask, well, so do I have to invest every time I come to the office? No. Once you're in sub 2, you're always in sub 2, and you're always welcome to come back to my office. Callie says, what's the email again for support? It's support@sub2.com. 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 Somebody says, Pace, your team won't let me come into the office without paying. Kent, that's crazy. 100% that's not true. James, yes, you can ask a question in 30 minutes when I'm ready for Q&A. Support@sub2.com. Yes, you can bring your 16-year-old. Okay. There you go. Regina, no, that's not true. Whoever your person is, you tell them to watch this video. Whoever your person is, DM me their name, and I will absolutely make sure that is not the case. Okay. All right. So 91% of the spots are filled because I continually let the sub 2 members come back over and over and over, because their job is to come in and pour in and help people out. So there you go. This is why I'm only going to invite 25 people to the office. The challenge starts, write this down. The challenge starts on March 23rd. That's a Monday, and it will go the entire week. So that's March 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, all the way through Friday. A lot of members will stick around on Saturday, go on hikes with each other, hang out with the leaders in Arizona, all of those types of things. So some of you guys can stick around for an extra Saturday if you can. If others need to get back to your house, no problem. March 23rd. Now, I want to point something out. I prefer you to do in person. I prefer you to do in person because that's how I build a relationship with you. If you can only do virtual, I will still give you the same value, but we only allow 20 total people on virtual. We make it very small. Okay. Yesterday we had a training going on. It was only 20 people on virtual. So if you need the virtual version, we will allow this to be smaller. It's because when I'm pairing you up with people, I can't have hundreds of people in the live chat. I need a smaller group of people. So if you need virtual, you're going to have an opportunity to tell my team, hey, I need the virtual version. I want to be in those first 20 people. Okay. So I'm going to invite people both physical and people virtual. So if you are anywhere in the world and you're like, I want to do this, I want to be on Pace's team, I want to do deals with Pace Live, you can do it with us virtually, but we only allow a smaller amount of people, 20 people only. Okay. March 23rd goes through March 27th. Okay. And here, let's talk about what it would look like if you did join the Sub 2 community. I already covered this, but I'm going to cover it again. Sub 2 community is a forever community. Okay. I'll give you a good example of what this looks like as I kind of go through and tell you what other things you get besides this bonus of coming in my office. Okay. You get the PACE method. This is our actual training of creative finance training. You get all of the trainings that you can imagine, over 5 years of trainings, all into the PACE method. You get weekly Zoom calls with me. I'll cover that here in a little bit. Live Q&A. I do about 5 or 6 of these a week. Yesterday, I made 2 calls with brokers and locked up a deal sub 2 on a big RV park. I'll break that down here in about 45 minutes. I'm actually going to show you guys the RV park here in a little bit. You get PACE GBT. So anybody you guys need help or access to, or any question you have about creative finance, this is about 10 times better than ChatGPT because it takes all of my live seller calls, broker calls, appointments, every training I've done behind private walls. PACE GBT has access to all of those things. And then more importantly, it has access to the full 30,000 person community, and it will pair you up with whoever you need long-term. So you go, hey, I need somebody that's good at land. I have a land opportunity, but I don't know who to go to. PACE GBT will pair you up with that person and give you that answer. Then we have the Sub 2 Vault. Thousands of hours of recorded training calls. You can imagine you're not going to go watch these, but when you need them, they're there. And they're more importantly accessible with AI. So now you can just ask the question. It will point you right to the video. It's amazing how the world has changed since people joined Sub 2 5.5 years ago. It's so cool. Event maps and meetups. We are a very physical community. We have a meetup in every city across the country at least once a month. Sometimes some cities like Houston, NorCal, Seattle, they're doing weekly meetups. And so you'll get access to those Sub 2 meetups. and members in your area learn together, network together, shadow each other, meaning getting in somebody's car, going on appointments with them, going to their project, partnering up with them, etc. Okay, that is by itself, just by that alone, it's worth the investment. Legal contracts and paperwork, we update these all the time. In fact, tomorrow I have a 3-hour training inside of our private community just around legal documents and paperwork because FinCEN is changing the way we report things. And so I'm bringing my attorney in to do training. He's $700 an hour. It's $2,100 that I'll pay tomorrow to make sure that you guys have live training on legal documents and new ways of doing business. This is constantly updated for you. It's by itself worth $100,000, just this alone. However, I'll tell you the honest truth about this is I don't really feel like this is super valuable to you on your first deal, your second deal, your third deal, because somebody else in the community is just going to do the paperwork for you. But when you're ready to go forward and do these deals on your own, you obviously want to have access to those. And so that's when that becomes really, really valuable. I think a lot of people, do you guys agree? You would rather just not have to worry about the paperwork and have somebody else in the community that you pair up with just do the paperwork for you. And then you learn while you're doing the paperwork. Like, I don't want to go watch a video about paperwork. I'd rather get a deal live, and then somebody else in the community walk me through a contract as we're doing it. So I learn about the contract as we're going through the contract. Do we all agree? Can I get a yes? Everything else is a waste of time. Like, you have access to the contracts, but screw that. Like, I want access to the people who are going to walk me through the deal and actually be my buyer for me. That's really what it is. Okay. And all of these people are trained on transaction coordination. We have attorneys that do live trainings all the time. Frida says, we are truly grateful. It's the way I learned. I didn't have to learn by watching contract documents and videos. I learned by being in a living room and actually getting a deal. Okay. Angela Green says, how do I get invited? I told you guys earlier, there's an investment of joining Sub 2. So you're going to join Sub 2. You're going to get all these other benefits I'm talking about right now. And then the bonus is the first 25 people that join Sub 2 are the ones that get to come into the office in person for the Are We There Yet challenge. Okay. So for those of you guys that want to be in person, that's how I learn. And you want that hand holding where people are holding your hand, you're in person, you got your laptop there, somebody's sitting next to you, I'm there calling leads for you. All of that stuff is important for you guys to understand that is the bonus that you get for joining Sub 2 today. Sub 2 is what you're investing in. The challenge in my office is a bonus. Okay. It's the initiation of you coming into the community. I need you to understand that. I say it 4 times because a lot of people go, oh, so I'm going to invest and join Sub 2. And that is this 1 week. No, it's not. The 1 week is the initiation. The rest of Sub 2 is the rest of your life. Okay. Of course, we have Sub 2 community workshops. This is really important. I want to show this to you in a different document because I update this so frequently. That I actually have like a little sticky note thing I just created a couple of days ago. Let me walk through this with you. It's kind of funny. So we update the live Zoom calendar. This is going to overwhelm you. But for those of you guys that are highly technical and you want to know what the heck you actually get access to, the people that are the logical thinkers, like, should I join Sub 2? Please look at this image I'm about to share with you. This is our Zoom calendar weekly. Okay. Our Zoom calendar weekly is this entire like sticky note spreadsheet thing. I know it's crazy. It's a lot. Let me reshare it for you guys. I pulled the wrong thing to share. Hold on just a second. So this is our calendar. Okay. So we have 5 a.m. Zooms of role playing, partnering with each other, call breakdowns, creative finance role playing. We have mindset stuff when people are like, hey, I'm stuck on this, like partnering with somebody or whatever. Then 9 a.m. every single day, Monday through Friday, we do live lead generation. So after you get home from my office, you'll have access to all of these Zooms every single week. Pace, that seems overwhelming. Well, it's not. You only usually pick 1 or 2 of these per week that you go to. They cost no money. This is part of being inside of Sub 2. So when I say community workshops, I know, isn't this crazy? 39 Zooms a week on average. Then we teach people every day at 3 o'clock to underwrite RV parks, mobile home parks, multifamily, single family, specialties like Section 8, continuation of care. And then we tell people on Friday night, you should take your spouse out on a date, so we don't do training on Friday night. Saturday morning, I'll usually do a special training, something I'm excited about. Sales training, connections, anything that you could imagine. And then every 6 months, we change the training based on what the demands of the community are. Okay. This is crazy. Most people, you'll join like a coaching program. How many people have joined a coaching program in the last 5 years? Give me a me in the side chat. And how many Q&As do they usually do per week? One. They do one Q&A a week for 6 months. Okay. A lot of people will go pay $20,000 to get one Q&A a week. We do 39 Zooms a week for the rest of your life. Okay. So 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road. I know Robert's like, it's insane, but why do I do it? Yeah. Melissa says, me, I wasted $40,000. Melissa, isn't this crazy that I do this? Okay. Mark says I get 2 per week. Guys, we do 39 a week. Why? Well, the reason being is because I want to do deals with you. And if there's something that you need, right? Like I have a legal question. Great. That's Wednesday afternoons. I have a corporate structure question about my LLCs. Hey, I have a bookkeeping question. I literally have a Zoom on Fridays that is called, or one on Thursday called Help Me, I'm Stuck, is Friday. And then we even have 3 or 4 that are just, hey, open Zoom, let's all connect. And then I have somebody on my team pairing people up with each other. Okay. It is crazy what we do. And that's just currently what's going on this quarter. Next quarter, we change it based on the demands of the community. And it costs you this much money every time we release a new calendar. You jump in, you pick the 1 or 2 you need that week. You find your partner, you find money, you find whatever it is. And then in a quarter, we change those all the way over. I also set this up in a way because people are like, I don't have time to join the Zooms. Is there any way somebody could tell me that their work schedule doesn't allow them to show up to at least 1, 2, or 3 Zooms in a week? No. And so I crafted it so we're available 5 a.m. all the way until 9 p.m. every single day. That is 16 hours live Zoom every day. Again, you're only going to go to 1, 2, or 3 of those Zooms every single week. I run on average right now, the last couple of 100 days, I run usually 5 or 6 Zooms a week myself. I did one yesterday for 4 hours, and I'm just calling sellers, breaking down deals, doing all that kind of stuff, trying to do deals with people. I bought 4 deals yesterday with sub 2 members. That is why I do so many of these Zooms, is because I want to do deals with you, period. Okay. So for those of you guys that are like, well, what support do I get? Is that not enough support just by itself? I would say the answer is yes. I would say just by that alone, even without the bonus of the RV Park training and the RV Park Live, I would say that alone, right? Do we agree? If you guys would have, like some people paid $40,000 for like some mentorship that gave you like 1 Q&A a week for like 6 months and then they kicked you out. Danny Mendez says, why do you do only 1 RV Park meeting per week or per year? Well, we're doing RV Park deals all year round, but I only do 1 training in person per year. Okay. Only 1 training in person per year, because we have other deals we do. We do a multifamily training once a month or once a year. We do, this is the bonus. Guys, remember, do I train on mobile home parks and RV parks every single Monday in sub 2? Yes or no? Every single Monday, all year round. Yes or no? Yes, I just showed you that. But once a year, I allow for a bonus where I invite 25 of you guys to come into my office specifically for RV parks. You understand this? Okay. So for those of you guys that are like, well, I want to do multifamily. Well, multifamily, we teach that on Tuesdays and Thursdays live in the Zoom. So you don't need to wait to learn multifamily. You can learn that right now. It's just that I will do a multifamily in-person training in August this year where I only teach multifamily for that entire week. Do we understand the difference? Yes or no? Okay, very cool. I do the week-long training on top of the 39 Zooms a week. The 39 Zooms a week is the community. The week-long training is the bonus for joining the community to make sure that we keep our success rate nearing 100%. Do we understand it? Can I get a yes? And by the way, we've had 500 people leave the Zoom today. I've done my job. I've made sure to weed out the wrong people. Okay, cool. So I want to make sure you guys understand this, because the reality is there's so much I do for the community. And this is why we did so many transactions last year. Even though the market was slow, we accelerated and did so much together because we spend a lot of time together. We actually hang out 39 times a week. Okay. So when I say community workshops, that's happening every minute of every day besides Sunday. We take Sunday off, not because it's a religious thing. It is for me. But we do sometimes specialty Zoom. It's not like it's against my religion. It's just I prefer to give everybody a day off per week, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. So that's community workshops. Then, of course, we have a private Facebook group. We have other private places that we hang out with each other and do deals. About 400 deals get done in this Facebook group every single day. It's a lot of deals. So you can partner with other people. You could buy deals from other people. You could sell deals to other people, whatever it may be. You have all of that. Then we have continued education. This is one of my favorite things. I grew up as a Boy Scout, and so I always loved my merit badge classes. And so we do merit badge classes. So when you guys go, I want to learn specifically about mobile home parks. Well, we have a merit badge for that. I want to learn specifically about multifamily. Cool, we have a merit badge for that. Well, Pace, I want to learn how to raise private capital. We have a merit badge for that. I took $160,000 in mentorships 10 years ago, all around capital raising capital. And then we built a whole entire capital raising 101 course around what I've learned, what I've done, et cetera. And we give that to people in sub 2. Okay. These semesters will continue to come out. We have all of these planned out all the way through 2028. These are all free. They cost you no money. You can get certified in all sorts of things. We have safety course, ethics course, low equity deals. You don't even know what that means, but we have so many courses that are all free, all part of being in sub 2. And we will continue to do a lot. Land wholesaling, Section 8, whatever you want to do, we got it. And then, of course, we have other places to communicate with other members, specific topics. Hey, I need a specific topic. We have a Discord. We have a Discord server called Creative Campus, where everybody gets together and goes, hey, I have a problem on this. Hey, I need somebody in this city. Hey, I have this. All of those things come on top of being inside of sub 2, making it easy to communicate and find the things that you need access to. Now, of course, we always do bonuses. This is probably one of my favorite bonuses. This is where I let people use my credibility. It's so far has never been abused in 5.5 years, but let's talk about like, what does that mean? Let's say you have a deal that you need proof of funds on. Let's go. Who's the last person that asked me for like a really crazy one? I'd say probably Angie asked me for like a crazy one. Let's see. Okay, she asked me for like a crazy one. I don't know why she needed this, but she went and did the deal. Let's see here. Okay, so she asked me, she goes, hey, I have a broker that needs me to show I have proof of funds for like $2.4 million. And so what I did is I'll send her an email and go, hey, here's my banker's information. Here's a video how to communicate with my banker. You can send this to your agent. You can send this to a person. And then I gave her a proof of funds right here for $2.471 million. She came back. She's like, that needs to have my name on it. And I go, no problem. So I created a document that shows her and I are going to JV or joint venture on the deal. She went and got the deal done. She went and sold it to somebody else. I didn't make any money on it, but I will use my credibility to make sure that helps you on your guys' deals. Okay. Awesome. This is hard to do with only one laptop. Sometimes I have 2 laptops that I run this whole thing with, but today I only got 1 laptop, sadly, guys. So I'm going to be a little bit clunkier than I normally am. So thank you so much for being patient. Okay, cool. So for those of you guys that are wanting to know, like, hey, how do I get in? How do I do the sub 2 thing? How do I be a part of the sub 2 community? Let me break that down for you guys and show you guys a couple more bonuses, and then I'll show you guys how to get in. Okay. By the way, we lost the perfect amount of people I got kicked off the Zoom. This is perfect. The attention span people couldn't stick around. I love it. Okay. So my credibility is one of the bonuses. Another bonus is a lot of live in-person events. Some of you guys have maybe seen us stream these online, and we show you guys what this looks like in person, but we do a lot of in-person events. You're invited to come to all these for free, no additional cost. My wife also trains on something called the bird dog training. We're going to throw in her course on how to do bird dogging the way she's done it her whole life. That's going to be part of joining Sub 2 today. And then, of course, the biggest bonus I think most people want is they want the No One Left Behind in-person RV park, RV There Yet challenge. How many people want this as their bonus for this month of joining? Give me a me. Okay, awesome. So let's talk about what it takes to get into Sub 2. We're going to recap everything you're going to get. Of course, you join Sub 2, you're going to get the PACE method, all the trainings, the weekly Zoom calls with me, Pace GBT, Sub 2 Vault, Event Map and Meetup, legal contracts and paperwork, Sub 2 community workshops, private Facebook group access, Sub 2 semesters, private creative campus Discord access, zero down course, etc. All of these things are great, but we make a lot of people a lot of money, which is great. We don't charge what we should charge. I think something like this, it's a lifetime community. I think we should charge $100,000 or $50,000. We don't do that, of course. But the real investment is usually even below what it costs, what you make in your first deal. And the first deal that most people get, the first check they get is around $15,000. Okay, that's your first like finder's fee. So like a Robin type of role, right? Where you're helping somebody else you're teeing up an appointment for them. You're usually making anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 on that first deal. And so even though that's your first deal average, and we're going to help you get that first deal, even then, we don't even charge $15,000. That is not even the investment. The investment to get into Sub 2 for a lifetime, no monthly expense, no yearly expense, no upsells, none of that stuff. It's a one-time investment of $9,800. And the first 25 people that join today are the ones that will be invited to my office in person. I already weeded out the non-interested people. I already weeded out the people that were not serious. They were never going to take action in the first place. This is my way of weeding out the people that are also not serious. They're not going to take action, is we only open up 25 spots. And so if you want to be one of those people in my office in person, go to pacehatesbanks.com or go to the QR code. And we do have a creative finance option. I do believe in creative finance, of course. And so we do have payment options, but go to pacehatesbanks.com. First 25 people will be invited to my office in person. Okay. The other people, you'll have to wait for another month. If RV parks specifically are what you want to jump into, which I'm going to do probably another hour of training on that today. If you guys want to specifically, and also for the people that hung out, I'll give you guys a cool gift. I'll give you guys a really fun, cool gift. Regardless of if you guys are in the 25, I'll give you a cool gift today. I'm going to give you guys another hour of RV park training specifically on creative finance, where to find them, all that kind of stuff. But for those of you guys that are like, man, I want a different payment option. Here's what I would do. I would get on the phone with my team. Okay, they are working. I would get on the phone with my team and I would click this button right here. Go to pacehatesbanks.com. Go click on this button and talk to someone. I would do it now, not in 3 minutes, not in 30 seconds. I would do it now. What happens is people DM me and they go, Pace, can I get into your office? I joined, but I wasn't one of the first 25. No, because now I'm making myself a liar. Either you're in that group or you're not. Sorry. Okay. If you want a different payment option, get on the phone with the team. If you just know you want to be in my office on March 23rd in person for a week, there you go. Carly says, fortune favors the action takers. Yes, it does. Carly, you know, that deal you sold me in North Carolina, I think it was South Carolina. That deal you sold me in South Carolina, I just sold it. I don't know if you know this. I made 80 grand on that deal. I just sold it. It was my last South Carolina deal. I just made 80 grand on it. Okay, cool. So pacehatesbanks.com, go to the QR code, jump in, be one of the first 25 people. If you need a different payment arrangement, ask for it and they'll work something out with you. Get on there, talk to someone. I want to do Q&A. I want to hang out with you guys, but I want to make sure that we only let 25 people in. Now, for those 25 people, since we already have most of those spots filled up with previous Sub 2 members from months prior, the first 25 people that join Sub 2 today, I will also give you my top RV park closers. Okay, Jordan Reyes right here actually did it. I'll break down a deal that Jordan Reyes, he was Robin for me 2 years ago. And now he helps other Sub 2 members he's doing deals per month, not one deal per month. He's doing a lot of deals. We got Patrick and Michelle Bassan. I think they're like 17 RV parks now. You got Casey Savage, who's been in RV parks for 35 years. He's savage, helping a lot of people get their first deal as well. So I will partner you up with my top 25 closers that have the most experience for the 25 people that join today. So pacehatesbanks.com, or go to the QR code that is on the screen right here and get over there, get on the phone with somebody, see if you can be one of those first 25 people. Now, I want to break down some more deals. Pacehatesbanks.com. I want to make sure everybody has that. And for those of people that keep saying, I want to join, I want to join, I want to join. Do we all have the link? Can I get a yes? Everybody has the link. I don't need to pull the QR code up every 30 seconds. I want to move on with some training. Do we all have the freaking training? Mickey says I just joined. How many people are joining today? Melissa says, yes, move on, LOL. Sadly, Melissa, what you'll see is in the side chat, I've done this enough times that people go, what's the QR code? What's the link? Okay. Cool. Somebody says I joined. Cool. Somebody's calling me. How many people are waiting for a call? Give me a me in the side chat if you're waiting for a call. Okay. A lot of people are waiting for calls. So Joel and his team are working on that. Go to pacehatesbanks.com. A lot of people that want to get into my office in person and do these deals, then I would make sure I'm one of the first 25 people. Okay. Where is my office at? I'll show you in just a second. My office is in Tempe, Arizona. It's right by the Phoenix Airport. Phoenix Airport in Tempe. Okay. Guys, jump into Sub 2. We'll see you guys in the office in person. If you guys join Sub 2 today, you'll see me a bunch of times next week. Come in, raise your hand. I'll connect you with people in the community. And I will see you guys in my office in person March 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th as a bonus for joining Sub 2. PaceHatesBanks.com. We'll see you guys later.